Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, I got a really cool Valentine's Day, whatever. So, I do. But first, I want to tell you this. Mandela effect. I never believed it before, but this one got me. And I mean, like, I don't know. This is the weirdest one. I'll just cut to it. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Okay, you tell me this. Who was the famous professional wrestler, if I just want to give it to you, who was the famous professional wrestler that played Super Mario? Or Mario, just regular Mario, both of them. In their live action wraparound segments. Who played Mario? I'll give you a hint. He used to wear a rubber band in his beard. There's only Mario that had a rubber band in his beard, and it was Bob Hoskins, and that's pretty much it. But who? Wrong! Not Captain Lou Albano. Ron Jeremy. And he chases him around in a mushroom cap. He chases his brother. It's the weirdest thing. Mandela effect. Wait a minute, this isn't April Fool's. Gotcha. No, it's Valentine's Day with an M. Because I like to date dumb chicks. My darling Clementines. Oh, my darling Clementine. She drinks Crystal Light and goes to yoga. And I blow loads in her behind. Hallelujah. Oh, I shouldn't say it like that. But yes, you should see her butt though. It's really nice. Anyway, even when I'm done with it, oh, it looks terrible. It looks like somebody ripped the head off a goose. And it's just like a gaping maw. Dripping with android blood like aliens. Or alien, which are both of them. They have cum blood. You get it? Disgusting. Hey. I'm gonna have milk. I have milk in here. I have to be careful. I can't get angry lately. Do you wanna know why? Cookies. Or actually it's just cook-eye. It's like, there's like, I have cookies, and it's just one cookies, cook-eye, right? Cookie. So I'm gonna eat that. I have a cigar. It's a whole big Valentine schmear. Let me keep it interesting. Let me tell you about something that was horrible, where I'm totally a victim, and I didn't do anything wrong. And it ends with children crying. Let me tell you this. Okay, so it's Valentine's Day. It's very old-fashioned. Take the Civil War foot out of the box. Mom, I need it for school. Take it to school, fill up a Valentine's. I'm gonna get however many Valentines are for kids in the class, because that's the way it works. So then we get Valentines, and we open them, and I get one, and it says, please don't be my Valentine. And don't is very deliberate, because it's scratched off, and then you can see that they erase it with like a pen. This is the olden days. There was no internet, and it would have one kind of pen. It was like a blue pen with stripes on it, and that was the only kind of pen that had an eraser on it in the world. This is before the Bics. Yeah, even before that. What? Yeah, I'm old. So somebody scratched it off the, like, probably like Cracker Jack, Tunerville Trolley Valentine. I'm not that old. And it was, anyway, it was the Crazy Cat by Herb Mann or whatever, and the Valentine had scratched off don't, and they erased it, so it ruined the Valentine. But then they wrote it back like, no, I gotta tell him how I feel. I don't want you to be my Valentine. So then the Valentine says, please don't be my Valentine. And a kid that always gets in trouble says, I'm not getting blamed for this. So then he's trying to find out. So he gets in trouble for terrorizing the class, because we're all allowed to get out of our seats and just do, like, make general noise, because we're doing Valentines. Everybody's delivered all their Valentines and everything anonymously, heads down, thumbs up. All, I'm just kidding, but no, really, we had to do that. It was like very, very disciplined, very old school, and building that we were inside. It was cold in the winters. We could wear a jacket in the winter. I'm just kidding. There was a light. We had one light. There was a light bulb. Clara always got to sit next to the light bulb, because she had some kind of condition where she shivered even in the summer. So, but anyway, back to the real story. So the teacher took the Valentine from the kid, because he was like, you know, getting off on, like, who did it? Who did it? I'm gonna be the one that gets the case. We got in trouble, and the teacher found out who did it. It was a girl I had a crush on, and she didn't like me, so she wrote me a Valentine. And she knew, I didn't tell anybody, she knew that I liked her, so she wanted me to know that she didn't like me. And then she cried, and then she really hated me. And now that the whole thing's over, she looks like a frog. My parents had like pictures of like when I was in a childhood classroom. I'm like, yeah, this is all those people. I'm like, there's the Valentine kid. And I'm like, she looks like a frog. And I'm like, I was an ugly kid. Hey, this is ugly kids, whatever. And she didn't even like me. She was really ugly. I was ugly too. Ugly kids. So anyway, there's that story. Another time, I was being fun and entertaining and people were digging it. And that's happened from time to time. I've gone on stage to do this, but this wasn't on stage. This is just, I'm entertaining, it's funny. And a beautiful woman walks straight to me, gets right in my face, and she says, "You're ugly." And she starts to tell me point by point why. And everybody else thinks she's real lowercase c, no class. But she's a beautiful woman, and they're just shocked. And then she does that, and she just leaves. And it's like, that's it. Like, that's exactly what she wanted to do. Why? I have a bunch of things that happen to me like this. Like, well, I mean, it's just lots of people have shitty stories. Like, I remember going on a date once. I'm thinking of 2 dates now. I'll tell you both. Not the whole date, just the incident. I'll get right to the point. I go on a date, and then I'm like, is my date trying to fuck the guy in the band that's on the stage at night? And I'm like, what the hell? And, because we kind of had a thing going. I'm like, I just don't exist all of a sudden. And then there's a bunch of women who are, I think they were lesbians, and they're like looking at me and they're watching the whole thing. And the little one is like, yeah. There's like one lady that was really short, and she's like, yes, like that is what's happening. Like what you're thinking, we saw the whole thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then another time was we had a date that went terrible, and then I kind of got blown off for like another dude, like on the date when there's like a whole bunch of people there and everything. So then I just left and then went to a different, there's like, I can't remember what it was, like Denny's or some place like that, or like, what are those places open, like Denny's or whatever, but that was the place I was leaving. Let's just say it was Denny's. It wasn't Denny's, though. I just can't remember what the hell it was called. It doesn't matter what the fucking place was. But I left the one place and went to like the local diner that was like right next to it, and I just walked there, and I called somebody for a ride, and they took me home. I guess that's kind of a simple one. Let's go for violence. This is somebody else's romance that led to my violence. So I'm sitting on a bus and I have no idea that anything's gonna happen to me today. But then I discover that I'm being choked the fuck out. So I start kicking the window of the bus, and then, hey, hey, hey! And then everybody's like, what? But this guy's the biggest guy in the bus, so nobody can say shit. And the whole thing was a show to get his, I'm not kidding, the whole thing was a show to get his girlfriend off. And that's why he put me in a headlock, for her to watch the whole thing. And he was gonna choke me the fuck out. Who knows what he would have done if I just would have been like, knocked out. I had no idea. Like, what are you gonna do? It just makes you, it's a trauma, I guess. It makes you think differently about the world, because you just don't know, like, I'm not saying anything could happen to anybody, but something happened to me that day. And it's not really a Valentine's Day story, but it was about their love. And it was one of those things that made me realize people will sometimes have a sick and perverted love, and women will also sometimes flirt with you. I didn't really have this happen, but I know that it happens. They'll flirt with you because they get off on their dude beating the fuck out of you because they can. And that's disgusting. Do I have a cookie? No, I gotta put another cookie in. I don't know why I need to show you, but it's a visual medium. Happy Valentine's Day. I have good stories too. I can't mostly tell them, but that's how good they are. They're great Valentine's Day stories. Whereas in relationships, where every Valentine's Day, or pretty much like any holiday, was like some kind of fornication treat. Is that a polite way to put it? You know what? This isn't appropriate to say. I am gonna say it. I think it's okay. Do you ever have a woman that you want to see dance sexy for you, that's yours, that you can have, and she does that for you on your birthday or holiday or Valentine's Day? That's really something. It really is. It's like one of those things in life that, okay, those relationships are over, and I'm not a Casanova and everything, but if you go look at some of my thumbnails when I was younger, do you get it? Okay, so, there's something else I figured out too. I tried to do this episode before, and I stopped the episode cold because I had a revelation, which is really none of your business, but I should tell you this. Probably like most guys, I aim for women out of my league, but I think I did, and get them sometimes. And I think the reason I did that, but they're not that hard to get. You know what I mean? Like women get around and just be there and like, okay, I'll play a relationship with this guy or whatever. He's like a different kind of guy. And that was me. Different kind of weird artist. Because I was a dad probably. I don't know. Women like that dad vibes. I was a young dad. So, and, you know, doing it with no mom. Is that attractive to women? I don't think so. So let me finish. Let me eat my cookie. So, I think because of that woman that was really pretty that told me I was ugly, there's something that made me realize, like, once I could get somebody who was really pretty, like, I'm the man, and then you know, in the sack, I'm in charge, and they like that. It's like revenge. It's like revenge on that stranger. What was it, her initial initiation to some kind of models club? You have to go over there and just totally humiliate somebody, and then you can come to some gay dude's party or something. And you'll get noticed, and you have to blow like 12 gross dudes in the arts, like Richard Christie or some weirdos or something like that. Oh, you can be assistants on one of my things, and the next thing you know, you're on all fours, and you are the table, and getting plastered with cum. Now I am. I don't know. I have a bunch of fucked up stories though. I don't want to say, I know it's Valentine's Day, but all this stuff I'm telling makes me think of Jack Nance. You know who Jack Nance is? He's a racerhead. Apparently he was a really nice guy. And everybody only says like he was the most kindliest, gentlest man and everything. A racerhead. Because if you look at him when he's not a racerhead, I don't know, maybe he was a nice guy. I never met him. I don't care about meeting celebrities. But he was a racerhead. He was, there's a fish in the percolator. He was the guy that found Laura Palmer's body. And it was David Lynch's friend. David Lynch's weirdo. I don't know. Maybe you can have normal friends and be a weirdo. But Jack Nancy's death. There's an altercation in a diner. It's like Stand By Me, the movie. But this is Jack Nance, how he died. There was an altercation in a diner. He got involved. Somebody hit him. The whole thing got resolved. He went home, went to sleep, and went to heaven, I hope. You know, for a kingdom of heaven. I don't know what he believed. But that's how he died. When I heard that, I was like, what? It's like a David Lynch thing. Isn't it? I mean, really, do they talk about that? I know people analyze David Lynch stuff to death, but it's so weird. And the other weird story I know about celebrities, which I don't know what this has to do with Valentine's Day, but remember Divine from John Waters' movies? Divine, the drag queen. It was like made famous to be ugly drag queens. Like, that's all like one person. All right? And like the Cockettes or whatever. I don't know drag queens. I'm not a drag queen. All right? But Divine wanted to be a big star in Hollywood, made hairspray, and then was on Married with Children and had a heart attack and died and didn't even get to see the episode or something like that. So anyway, there you go. What kind of wood doesn't float? Natalie Wood. What kind of wood doesn't forget? Robert Wood. I don't even know what that means. That's a horrible joke. I did an episode that I really like, and even I don't watch my stuff back because it's bad, and I feel like, I'm so glad I took all these old episodes down. But I did an episode. Did you see it? It was a day before Valentine's Day, and it was like a Valentine's Day kickoff where I was setting you up where I'm like, I didn't do it right, so that's why I'm not. This isn't the payoff for an episode that was a setup yesterday. Yesterday I did an episode that very few people saw, and I don't know if I left it up long enough for like anybody to see the end of it. But here's what happened. I did an episode where I just spew hate, and then I keep stopping the episode and then starting it again. But I leave everything out, like it's just an episode of outtakes where I just spew filth. And then there's part of it that I laughed, but it was like wicked laughter. I'm like, oh no, this can't be healthy for me to really be like this. But I had all this Kobe stuff, and I just went, pfft. So if you saw that yesterday, I don't know what you thought of me, because it's really in poor taste, and it's just bad taste. There's nothing good about it. It's not cool, you know, too soon. I don't know, I'm starting to have a problem with like, no, it's okay to do a too soon joke, maybe in a context, but I don't care about sports leets, whatever hipster douchebag term you want to use for, I don't care about sports. I don't. Do you believe it? But that guy, like, other people's brains work differently. So just because I'm not like them, and I'm not, it really tears people up that he died. Like, people invested themselves in this guy's career, who was like, probably, it wasn't even over yet, right? Like, how old can you play basketball? I don't even give a fuck. I like to play sport. Like, playing sports is fun, but now I'm too old. I go to a picnic and somebody says, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. Look at me. What do you think? You think I want to do anything? You guys shouldn't be doing it. Go inside and play video games. You're old now. Go play stop. Athletes, this is dumb. For who? They're not even enjoying it. It's like a show for them or something. That's why I don't go to anything. Look at how I'm dressed. It's cold. It is cold. It really is, sincerely and truly. It's like, it may be the coldest, it's gonna be like the coldest night of the year so far or whatever. So you can figure that out. It's the best part of the country. It has weather. No poop. Sorry. On Valentine's Day, what are some of the great things about Valentine's Day? I'm a champion of love. Hey, this was something that was thrown down to me. I'm like, okay, I will do it. I believe in it. Why? Because we live on a planet that is using movies and TV and our phone to socially engineer a generation and everybody else who will go along with it, that men and women shouldn't be together and raise families and stay together for a lifetime, so they can get all the stages of the gamification of life, which would be ultimate level of grandparents, or high score of great grandparents, or the like super secret ending where it's like a lot of work and effort you put in, and you're like great grandparents, or however old a person can be before you get to like 120 years or whatever Dad said we get after the flood. So happy Valentine's Day. I thought it was going to be silly and then do a segment where I do Easter eggs with you, but I think it's just going to be a whole episode where I make Easter eggs with secret messages. I haven't figured out all my bits for this yet, so it's not ready, but this is like a teaser for things to come. Well before Easter, we're going to do Easter eggs with magic messages where you watch me make them, but you can't see what they say, and then at the end, it's probably going to be dicks with hairy balls. They look like a cactus. Whatever, probably not going to do that at all because it's on YouTube. I don't want to curse at all anymore. I have to be in the right mood to do these anymore because I can't get into performance mode because I don't know, like I'm kind of broken-hearted lately. It's the best way to describe it. My heart hangs heavy, and I feel like I shouldn't say this. Maybe I should, because so I hurt myself. It's probably definitely a hernia, because something like that, and I can't get angry, and because I'm angry so much, I didn't know I was, but when I get angry, my body tightens, and immediately those parts, which makes me think it's like more than one hurt. I don't know what's wrong, but I hurt myself at, let's just say, several points in my body, and they immediately hurt if I get angry. So yesterday I did this episode that I just told you about where I go through the whole anger thing, and I was like spew hate and filth and everything and Kobe stuff, and I don't usually watch my stuff back, but I did, and I still like it, and it's really good, but I'm like, no, it has to come down. So if anybody clip grabbed that because they're like, I'm just gonna clip grab it and watch it later, you got it, because it is like, it's pretty vile. Like, I just like everything you can, like, I go after women, like race is just not really anything I care about, so not, you know what I mean? But I was like saying, what's something that's under the surface of my life that really bothers me, that's anger issue, since I can't get angry because of my man pain, I could exaggerate to clarify, and it still got really sore. I still got really sore anyway from the episode. Not that you need to know that, but yeah, but here's where I'm going with this. I'm leading somewhere with this. Because I can't get angry, it's made me recognize that I'm angry a lot. Like, all the time. Like I said, I hurt myself already, and then it got worse. So I was waking up every morning with anger, and I think that may have been in other episodes. So happy Valentine's Day, by the way, again. I didn't forget, okay? So something that's really been like a personal issue with me is like people telling me like, yeah, you can't just like, you just can't like, I forget how to be around people. I've been so long a hermit that when people talk to me, I just give an answer like I'm from like Scandinavia or Denmark or something. We're like, oh yes, I have no filter, I'll just answer you like sprockets or something. Like, oh yes, I'll just totally, you know, annihilate you like that hot chick that walked up to me and blah. She didn't have an accent. Anyway, see what I mean? It's like totally, so anyway, like I think maybe, and also because of that, another thing that I thought was cool was it really made me like no, fuck you, I'll get her, you know. But also a lot of times I didn't have to get anybody. I feel like I was preyed upon by women. I'm like, wow, okay, you know, because she was so hot. And again, this is only like a couple times in my life, a handful of times, several times. I wanted to keep them, you know, like I just wanted to have a house and do relationships, and they were all smarter than me, like more sophisticated and worldly, because they fucked so many dudes and had to use their bodies to survive. I have no idea, but they were like, oh, I'll just play this for a while, and that was me. Happy Valentine's Day. So I guess you could say I got played, but they were like playing house. And then here's the thing where it's not revenge, where I don't need any, and I don't like to hear bad things about my exes. I want them to be happy, and I hope like they're happy moms, and like if they're qualified. Some of them shouldn't be, and I hope they're happy anyway, because some people can have lives and not have kids, and it doesn't matter. They're not bad people. They're still good people. It's just there's different types of the world. But you know, I think they could all have been me moms. Some of them are now, but all my darling clementines, all the colors of the LGBT rainbow hair color. Yeah, you ever date that? Girls that had like gone down on other girls or had girlfriends? Yeah, I know about that. That's just like, I don't know. That's just like a turn off to me. I'm not like, really? Because here's the reality of it. Not your girlfriend looks like a dude and wants to be a dude, and you don't want him to be friendly with that ex. It's just weird. Oh, I hate Facebook. There's so much stuff to go after women to, like, they can't make up their minds about stuff, but they can, you know, if you can like fluid bond or whatever, you can bang those sugar walls out, put your cellular DNA in there and telegony them up that hose bag, make her yours, true. Then maybe you got something. Then maybe it can be the love of the ages for the two of you. I don't know. Too many guys raw dogging it. It's just dangerous. You can't do that either, you know? You can't do it. So where was I going with this? This is a terrible episode. Happy Valentine's Day. So all my sweet bitches lined up like circus seals in my imagine. No, that's not the fantasy. No, I don't want to do that anyway. Do you have that? You have the fantasy of like, oh, I want to have like a bunch of girls, or like two or whatever. I don't care about that. I was always just like an idiot. Like, I want a house, I want a wife, and then we just world build and all that stuff. I guess maybe it's because my parents have that. Like I see what they were able to build in their lifetime. So happy Valentine's Day. I'm bitter about it. I have to be careful because I'm not kidding. It's like a damn sitcom thing. Like, I have back pain because of anger. Until you deal with your unresolved issues, that's kind of what isn't that kind of what I said to you? Yes, every time I get angry, which is a lot, which is invariably, daily, I didn't realize it was there. Like, I don't express it, but just if it's there, I feel it. My body tightens up. Like my asshole or whatever. I'm just kidding. That's not part of the hernia. So it was up here, some popped out up top, not down there. So I hate going to the doctors. If there's anything about me that's a real man, it's that I don't go to doctor. I just don't. And now I'm like, how long do I have to endure this pain to find out, oh, gotta go to the doctor. I'm hoping I'm good. But the thing is, maybe it's my Father's way of helping me, and if it is so, then thank you for that. I'm not gonna rule out metaphysics of what is capable for my Father, because, you know, there's things I want, and maybe I'm getting them. I wanted to be a better man. I had this trouble with like anger that I didn't take it out on people, but you know, sharp tongue maybe perhaps, and so I have a bunch of like ever since the day before Thanksgiving, I have been burning bridges and breaking hearts or whatever, and now my heart is broken. Can I say it like that? So maybe in a weird way, I've been thinking about it. I think I kind of got what I asked for. Like, there's some kind of things I wanted in my life improvements upon, and limitations, my physical limitations, because my physical limitations. I gotta move. My physical. I'm not even gonna try smoking that cigar because it's gonna hurt. I had a cigar and like, no way, forget it, nah. So it'll make me tighten my muscles up or something. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm hurting a little bit. So this hurting, I can't get angry because it hurts. Like, it's like, okay, that's what I have to do. And it's embarrassing, but I think it's useful. I don't mind sharing something like this because I don't think there's anything special about me. I'm not like saying I'm a magical man or anything like that. It's very common. This kind of stuff happens all the time. I think a lot of men's back pain has to do with like carrying the weight of the world. It sounds silly, but I think there's something to it because there's so much that, like, I just think of all the stuff that dudes go through and they still have a wife or a girlfriend. And a couple of guys I knew that said, I paid for like 2 houses, or what am I saying? Several houses. I paid for several houses for women. But, and no, I've been with more than 2 women, by the way. That's not what I was trying to, I wasn't trying to connect those things. But no, I know 2 guys that like basically bought or like helped rebuild 2 houses for 2 women. In a total, making that 4 other people's families that after everything was nice, they just wanted to play old family again. That's insane. It's like a scam women have to have some guy come in and be beta male provider, and then when it's all fixed, the deadbeat blood father comes back and is like, this is great. And then by then maybe he's got his shit together, whatever, and he gets his family back, and some other fucking dude pays for it while he gets to fuck your girlfriend and blow loads in her face. Fucking sickening. 5%. No, I'm not going to talk about the 5%ers. I don't care about them. Do whatever you do. Bombarded the boys' butts. I'm safe. I'm out of the woods. And I'm wrong for that. I didn't even listen to hip-hop. But look. What were we talking about? Something about butts? I don't even remember anymore. It's just nonsense. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do to you nonsense. I'm going to clean up my act. I don't know. I don't have the hate anymore like I used to. And I can't have the anger. But you know what I mean? Like, I get angry about stuff and I can't. I really can't. So it's helping me deal with it. Like, I'm learning and growing. Do you get it? I don't know how else to word it. I'm growing. I'm growing, not spiritually. I don't know. Maybe I am. But that's not what I mean. Talking about that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about like, oh, when I get angry, my body hurts, so I can't get angry. Wow, it's very surprising how often I get angry all day long. Boy, is my body sore. Oh, I'm so, oh, see, that's terrible. I'm sore. From anger. Because my muscles hurt. Okay, enough of that. Is anybody still here? Happy Valentine's Day. If this is Valentine's Day, that's too bad. Why aren't you with somebody? Try to chat with somebody. Or I don't know. Try to meet somebody. Still got time left. Valentine's Day on a Friday. I don't know. You know how people think, hey, I'm going to go out and maybe something will happen, and it never does? Because nothing, you know what I mean? Like, this could be the night of anything exciting. I know sometimes it is, but then you're like, I guess this isn't that. Nah, maybe this isn't the one. Oh, maybe this will lead to something. Going down on a stranger and then they blow me and we whatever the fuck and we're fooling around and we go back and get hammered some more. Maybe it'll become a relationship. It's all wrong. What about love though? Oh, good things about love. Good things about that helped me feel good too. That's all. Oh, this is the other gift of all this man pain. Okay. It's made me think about, like, well, I don't know, should I think about good things? And I was like, yeah, I don't really think about good things. So let me try to do that. Let me try to think about good things from the past with ex-lovers and fornicating, which is probably evil and everything. When I think about my marriage, I don't know. What do I talk about that isn't sex? I'm trying to think about that now. That's right where my mind goes to. It's like, well, there was this, there was that, the thing on the bus, and weird shit. Not that thing on the bus where I got headlocked. The thing where I got thing where I got head in the bus. I did. I got head in the bus. It was disgusting. Happy Valentine's Day. So there's another one. That's a happy story. It definitely has a happy ending. Somebody's mouth on the bus, and they spit it on the floor of the bus. I wanted to have so many kids. Oh, that's disgusting. It's such a fucking disgusting story when I think about it. Fuck you, Alana. She got nothing on me. She blew me on the bus. She's better than 10 Alanis's. I'll take her any day of the week. She didn't worship the devil or Wicca or anything. Alanis Morissette's a weirdo. Why do I always have to attack people? I said I didn't want to do that anymore. I don't. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel, but I just can't be mean because it hurts. And it's made me think about more nice things to get back on point. It's also hard to stay focused. It's been really hard to do this episode. I had so many outtakes, and I was like, you know what, Scott? Delete them all. And I deleted all the outtakes, and they're probably really funny. Probably funnier than this. I had props. I had like Star Wars Valentines from years ago. Do you remember that? Where it's like, it had Finn with a gun, and the Valentines just look like something, a wallet comes in for a man. It's got a guy with a gun on it. And you're like, what's in here, a wallet? And you're like, oh no, it's Valentine's. It had nothing to do with love or the heart. It just says, join the force, rebel from the dark side. It doesn't mean, it's nothing. And then you seal the Valentines with a little heart sticker, and that's the only thing that's a semblance of the remembrance of Valentine's Day. A little red heart, that's the sticker that seals the Valentine shut, that has the tattoo inside. And then you break the heart, and then you get to read the message. The Force awakens with you. And it's got Kylo Ren with a scar on his face. And you know what the funniest part is? I don't know why, I shouldn't tell you this. Like a window into my life, here you go. More than you want to know. I'm not kidding. I don't have them around. But I took one of the Valentines, the one that was Kylo Ren, and I put a mustache on it and like prickly like Scooby-Doo beard, like from Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And I gave it to my mother. It looks like me. Like I changed it, because I'm an artist. I can do portraits. I changed the Kylo Ren car with a ballpoint pen, and it was pretty good. And I was like, oh, that's terrible. So very easily, I changed Kylo Ren into me, and then it said, crush the rebellion. And it was from me to my mom. And she broke my heart seal. And then I said, crush the resistance. And it was me on the card. And she didn't say anything. Nothing. And she hates me. I think it's because she knows what I think about her. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm so sad in my heart. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, I remember... I hate to say it. Here's the good stories about exes. I have an ex-girlfriend. I don't want her back. But she did warn me of this. And she said, you have a real way of alienating people with your honesty. And I said, and it's not like I'm not trying to intimidate people, but if somebody asks me something, I'm not around people anymore. I forget how full of shit, like, you know, like, so nobody wants to have anything or hear about anything. I had stuff I can't even tell you about my life because it's just not appropriate. And I can't, and I would normally get angry about it probably. I'd transfer it into my own anger. And then, but now I can't. Because I can't get angry. Because it hurts. And I'm so sore right here now. It's like, you know, it's just there. And maybe I'm trying to make the most of it. Maybe it's exactly what I need right now. This is a very narcissistic Valentine's Day special. It's all about me. So I used to work at a place, like a new age place, and people would come in with problems like this, and they would come in with like, you know, just needed like a therapist or something like that. You know, just need to talk to somebody or whatever. So I've seen so much of that, I could just do that to myself. So then I read the Bible and I'm like, oh wait a minute, all that stuff's in the Bible and everything else is just nonsense and lies that people put their name on to say they came up with it, but it's just like a thing from the book of Sirach. It's like just practical street wisdom. Do you know what practical street wisdom is in the book of Sirach? S-I-R-C-H. How do you pronounce it? Sirach? I mean, that's biblical. That's like how many thousands of years ago? I don't know. I'm just learning. But in that book it says, like, don't go into lonely places with men you know have killed other men, because it will be nothing for them to kill you. And their odds are better of winning because they've done it before. It has all kinds of crazy stuff in it. I'm like, this is the Bible? And yes, it's got everything. You don't even know. Do you know who Sirach is? I never heard of the guy before until I was like, I love this. Let me tell you, this is not... Okay, here's a Valentine for you. It's a Valentine for you. It's not about Valentines. I'll try and think about more interesting stuff about women. Not to shit on them. I mean, like, good things about love. Because I want love to win. Oh, I grew up in a generation when there was couples that got old and died together and like romantic and kissy when they were old people, and it was really gross. And they loved each other. And they had never been with anybody but each other. Maybe that's sad. It's heartbreaking because nobody's like that anymore. You'll never find a gal like that. 5% of women, where are they hiding out? In somebody's harem to marry those people that live out, what do they call them, polygamists? Is that, those are the 5% of virgins before being married? I'm sorry, did I ever get to that when I started talking about African Mumbata and the 5%ers? There you go. I was going to say 5% of women in America are virgins before marriage. So that means they're all ruined before they get married. And also, I think people are getting married less. I kind of have some reason to believe that. And it's bad for business if you're involved with people's weddings. That's sad. But also, like, people, well, it means people aren't getting married. That's sad. But I had that job, so I've done so many bullshit weddings where I'm like, ah, this is a disaster. Like, it really turned me on weddings, which I'm not down on. But I'm down on like modern American weddings that I've seen, to like the regionality, like where we traveled around in, and yeah, it's kind of sad. And the phony rehearsedness of it, and the bridezillas, it's all real shit. I don't know if they learned it from watching that TV show, or I'm just thinking like, oh shit, this is Valentine's Day, right? So, and then there's my gypsy wedding, where they get married like a Russian whore in the window for wedding. Look at her, she's like a princess. I know what it's like, for real. They're standing in windows, they're wearing like swimming suits or lingerie, and they're on cell phones. And oh, okay, how much? She gives you a price. How many euros? You go to a booth, a little fuck booth. Happy Valentine's Day. You pay to squirt. You get to pick her yourself. You walk down the whole street. They call it a red light district, even in daylight. You want to hear some real news? My son was a teenager. I said, with my buddy, I said, we're not going to get whores. I'm not going to tell you a story about getting my son with a prostitute. No way. But I wanted to show him, like, look, I want you to know that this is real. This is the world we live in. Some people do this for a job. So I took him through the red light district, and the girls really paid attention to it. That was strange. That he was there, because clearly he shouldn't have been there. We took him there, and it was like an eyeful for him, and I stand by my decision, because I think it's like, it makes you think about women differently. So you try and find somebody, you know, like you look for substance in people. So I haven't seen him much because he's happy. I know, I told you I have many progeny, and you know that Future Scott shoots his squirtomazoons all into the vats. I can't wait till I get to the part of my movie where I get to go to a factory and I get to pretend masturbating into vats. I'm making my Smilex goo so that the brave new world kids born in the hatchery will be little rebels with my eyebrows. Yes, forget about the wealthy elite infecting the world with their love and encoding everything with their black goo. All right? No, Scott Franklin Rhee is saving the world in the future Scott, saving the future for all mankind by squirting a little juice. Stay away from my behind. I do it fast, but I get it done in time. Why? Because I have to run for my life. You're not supposed to be in the hatchery. That's their goo that they make people into. They're world babies. Well, now there's Scott Franklin Rhee's their dad, because I have the last flick into the vats. Disgusting. Hey, I don't know how many disgusting ones I got in me. I really am trying to turn over a new leaf. I thought, what would be the kind of videos that would last for the ages before they delete them? I'm just kidding. I'm not thinking about any of that shit. I had nowhere to go with that bit, so I'm gonna cut it short. So yeah, Ron Jeremy is Super Mario Brothers Mandela Effect. The rubber band around his wiener, chasing the kid around with a mushroom cap in the 1980s. And the cartoons are terrible. Did you ever see The Adventures of Link with his feathered hair? That's actually a neat, weird one. Go watch like the first cartoon version of Link and Zelda. It's like, I don't know, like a hair metal thing or something. I don't know what they were going for. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember laughing at it when it was like a new thing, because I used to work animation, so you see all that stuff, and like, what? Everything's terrible. Turbo Teen? What is that? I'm turning into a car? Whose idea was that? But kids want to turn into a car. I want to turn into a car. Oh, Transformers. That's what it was. The kid turns into Silly Putty, and then the Silly Putty turns into a car. The human Transformer. And his girlfriend pegs him. Turbo Teen. I'm changing into Turbo Teen. That's one of my classic thumbnails. I should use that. I should use that for my Valentine's Day thumbnail. Yeah, how do you like the set? Do you like the Realm in the Shadow band? Yeah, oh, stories of love and stuff like that. I got a lot of good memories. I should be able to... I've been thinking about good things lately because I realize how much the anger is making my body physically suffer. Maybe I should thank you, Father. If you've done that to me, thank you. I will learn from my infirmities, all right? And no heavy lifting, which is really cramping my style. There's stuff I kind of need to do, and I can't do it. And now I gotta move again. So, and it's not like a mental thing where it's like, oh, it's just in your head. No, I saw a thing pop out. I'm like, nah, that happened. And it went back in. I remember holding it thinking, I hope this goes back in. And it hurts a lot. And it went back in. I'm like, that's better. And then I was so sore yesterday. And now today, even more sore. But it may have something to do with one of my classic episodes that nobody, to me, it's classic to me, because I've seen it. I did a good episode filled with like, it's just too bad. It's just too gross, and the Kobe stuff, like there's no way to edit it out, and the flow of it just, it is what it is. And I don't think people should see it because it will hurt their feelings. I know it's dumb to you and me that people get upset over a basketball player, but this is what people have in their lives that means something to them. And a lot of those people still go to church and stuff too, and like they're all over the Bible, they know more about it than me and everything. But it's different for me. I've been all over the place, and I've seen all the nonsense religions and all the crazy stuff that's out there for people to buy into, and they do. And I've watched how they become vulnerable victims, and they're just like lonely ladies that nobody pays attention to because they hit the wall, their husbands left them, so they want to be special, so they go the New Age instead of back to church. And since I've seen all that stuff, and all the guys that find their way into that stuff too, and I've seen that like for over decades, whatever, of my life, okay? Finding the Bible now, which I'll say is late in life, but better late than never, it just feels like the perfect time for me to discover it, because, happy Valentine's Day. I'm sorry this is where the episode went if you don't like this, but this is where it went. Because everything that's in all that New Age nonsense and self-help stuff is in the Bible. It was in there. All I had to do was get an Orthodox study Bible from like the 90s or whatever hell, when it first printed or whatever. That's all I had to do. And what I wasn't sure about, like, I think I get all, because I read it now and I get it. And I'm like, am I sure I get this? At the bottom, for a lot of stuff, there's footnotes for that. And it's like, oh yes, this is what I thought. And it makes me so good, but I live my songs of ignorance. All right, there's songs of innocence and songs of experience. I live songs of ignorance. And my children, I'm sure, have suffered for it. And I apologize for that. But once I leave the hatchery, it's over. But no, in real life, you know, there was no mom for them. Sorry, there just wasn't. She didn't want to do it. So she had a horrible life. It's not her fault. It really isn't. I can't blame anybody for anything. So anyway, I was just glad that I got to have him 100% of the time, because I don't know how I would have, what kind of man I would have become if I couldn't be with him all the time. So now I'm being reminded of empty nest syndrome as the kids move on with stages of life, and I'm like, oh, I hope you got a good one. I hope you got a good one, because I think they're getting serious because I don't see them, and there's like certain things when you do hear from your kids, and it's like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it seems like it's pretty serious. Like, is that good? Is that bad? And I don't know, because I've never had this before. I've never lived this before. So, there's so much going on in my life, and I am reduced. Like, I'm basically like, I don't want to go driving and hit bumps. I can't do it. I gotta make doctor's appointment, go to doctors, do all that, and I hate it. I told you this before. I'm a real man. I don't go to the doctor, anything. And I've sat with men. I've sat in an emergency room with men that were even more real men than me. That was like somebody I knew, and not like I was friends with, like acquaintance. And he was showing me all the times, because he worked like with machines and stuff, and he was always getting his hands tore up, like bad. And his hands was all like scars. And it happened so much that his wife would just do it. And he showed me like a doozy. He's like, look at this one. And I'm like, your hand's mangled. And it was, which I didn't really notice. I mean, I knew his hands were messed up, but he like, when you get to look and somebody shows you, like, oh, that is messed up. And one time guts came out of his hand or something. Then he's like, and then she couldn't sew that one up. And I'm like, yeah, I believe it. That's what that looks like when you open like your thing, and like his guts came out of his hand, or like fatty tissue or whatever. Or, it was just, and we were in the emergency room because somebody was getting stitches. So, you know, like, that's who we were there for. And then he was like, nope, had to come in the emergency room for that one. I was like, yeah, I believe it. Happy Valentine's Day. So, what can I say? I mean, I have all kinds of romps of fornicating with people that I was in love with. They were in love with me, so it's romantic. But I don't want to tell you that. I mean, it's not even, nobody should. You're supposed to guard your love. And, you know, I've done horrible things. I said my girlfriends were slobs. I piss people off. It's not okay. I got to change it. So on Happy Valentine's Day, I will gift you with like the way, like, I'm probably not going to do, like, I'm definitely recalibrating how I do episodes. And it's not just because now I'm held back by I can't have anger and I'll just go right back to it again. I don't want to, because these limitations of my pain, for whatever reason, have made me reevaluate my, like, how I live, because it hurts. Like, you know, I just keep saying it over and over again, but I'm like, it just, I don't know. I'll stop now. Extreme Narcissism TV. I don't really think it's a good idea, and I did just read stuff in the book of Sirach that you're not supposed to tell stuff. I hope I'm saying it Sirach, that you're not supposed to do stuff like that. Like, you know, keep your stuff with your Lord to yourself and everything like that. But at some point you have to, like, I feel like okay with it, because like, you have to, you know, you have to let people know that they have these options. Oh, this guy sounds weird. Why don't you just call your father on Valentine's Day? Call your father on Valentine's Day. I don't mean your earthly father, because it might be a terrible mistake. Some people will hear something, get inspired, and take advice the wrong way. Like, I'm going to call my horrible father and ruin and feel even worse. No, you don't have to call anybody. I mean your heavenly father. You have one. It's how it works down here. I read all this New Age stuff because I was inundated with it. I worked around it. It smelled great. And sometimes it smelled terrible, because all the incense, all these things, the weird music and chimes and flutes and angel miracle meditation prayers and all this stuff, and chimes, CDs of chimes. Oh my God, there's so much stuff. Pyramid collection, catalogs. I've seen it all. Crystals, weird things in the bathroom. Every kind of sages. I didn't know there were so many sages in my life. red sauna things, shit and things, anal manicures. I don't know, I'm making that one up. Ooh, hold on. So my point is, it's like a tingling, burning. What's that mean? Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and check all, because you probably still won't get notified when I make a video, and I'm gonna keep making them. I got this. I really like it. I really, really do, because I read it, and then below, I'll just open to anywhere. You read it, and then below there's like the footnotes right at the bottom of the page for what's on the pages. It's really cool. And everything, all your New Age collection and self-help books, it sounds so dumb to me. I know, like, you meet people that are Christians, and I did when I was younger, and they were annoying, and I couldn't stand them, and I wouldn't want to hang out with them now. I'm me, okay? And I didn't go to church, but I had that. I was baptized and everything. All right, and I'll know about my heritage. I'm sure I said that stuff before, kind of women I like and everything. But, this, you can get rid of like every stupid fucking book you have, all of it, all your tarot cards, the I Ching, the Di Ching, the Do De Jing, all this stuff where you're staring into a void or sitting on a pillow going Ram Nam Ning Ning Ning. All that, I'm getting angry, sorry. All that nonsense can go. I'm sorry, I sound like a jerk, right? Like, what's he doing, putting a show on? No, it hurts. So, this really did something for me. I've seen so much nonsense. I've gone with people, like, we're traveling. Like, you know where they do the movie The Shining, and they're driving to the Overlook Hotel, and it's just trees and trees and trees. Of course, that's all real. It's before CG, all right? But I've driven through that stuff because they have like weird ashrams for gurus, and they live out there where they like brainwash people. And they're millions of dollars. Like, you go inside, this is the home of the guru, and it's like a woman, all right? And I'm not kidding, because there's like women gurus and stuff like that. And it's like millions of dollars, and it's beautiful. And then the people look like they're living in like a lockdown chamber, like a little... It's weird, man. And then the people that are walking around, because we went to these places, like, let's go for a day trip and check out the place. And all the people that are walking around like zombies. And you really have to want to get to places like this to get there. But they're around, like the Guru Kulums and stuff like that. They're like cults. So, yeah. So these places have existed. And I'm just letting you know, like, some background. And I've seen all this shit. Happy Valentine's Day. And it can all go into garbage. Because if you don't understand it, the bottom of it has the baby notes for ABCs, so it makes sense to you. And I don't even need the baby notes for what I've read so far. I like it because it confirms that, like, what I'm thinking about it is what they wanted you to think about it. And everything that is in your Wayne Dyer, I know he died, nothing, I'm not going to shit on him. Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle, and anything New Age and self-help and Satanism and Wicca and paganism and Guides for Life and Tony Robbins and psycho-cybernetics or any of this stuff, Willow Jenkins or whatever, Jocko Wilkins, whatever the guys, the raw food UFC guys and stuff like that, Jocko Willinks, whatever. Look, any advice you're going to get from any man or woman, for any man or woman, it really is. I didn't know what this was. I'm sorry that this is what this Valentine's Day became if you don't like this, but if you're still here, okay, keep listening. It's probably gonna get like 50 views. I don't care. I'm not about the hits. I know that there's no way I will ever get anywhere with me making videos because they're not very good and it's not allowed. But I really like my open mic, and since you keep coming back, I keep doing these. But like, I had never heard of the Book of Sirach. And it's just like, here's what it's like to live in a city when in horrible times. And then it tells you notes about like Sodom and Gomorrah below. And like, I had no idea, like, okay, everybody knows they call it Sodom because it's sodomy. But what you don't get is in the Bible that what it says that the stuff they did in Sodom and Gomorrah was so vile that God smote it from the earth. Because angels came into, there's a story, Angels came into Sodom, and it's true. Angels came into Sodom, and like they were like, no, we got to bugger them, because as was a custom at the time, if you went to Sodom and you were beautiful, whatever, it had to get you, because it was about sodomy. And it says like what they wanted to do was so haughty, like they had, and this is what they described. It sounded like episodes of South Park. This is what it says in the Bible about Sodom. It says that everything was very opulent in the streets. There was wine everywhere and drink everywhere. But yeah, like there was like, they had no care for their poor. They didn't care for the poor people. And they were very haughty was the word that was used in this. They were very haughty and put on airs. And they were so, and they were so vile that the Lord said, I will reduce this place to ashes. But Lot and his wife and daughters were allowed to leave. And then his wife turned to a pillar of salt because she looked back. There you go. But why do I say all this? Because, well, it's Valentine's Day. And I had no idea. Like, they talk about, like, Sodom and Gomorrah and the Midianites and the Canaanites and all this, like, foul, evil things. Well, I don't know. Maybe not the Canaanites. Yeah. But, like, all the horrible stuff. There's all this stories about giants and stuff in the Bible. Like, from different times. Like actual physically tall giants and stuff like that. Not just the David and Goliath story. Or David and Goliath. Who was that? The Lutherans? You did that with Gumby? Gumby, and what's your other idea? David and Goliath? I don't know, maybe their heart was in the right place. I'm not like going against all sects of Christianity because they're not Orthodox Russian. I'm just saying you have to go to Orthodox Russian because it's the only ones left. And I still can't wrap my head around those Ringing Cedars books because they talk about reincarnation and stuff that's bullshit. But then they tell everybody to go back to Orthodox Christianity and be families and stay together and have babies and get a piece of land. And that's all the same stuff I've been telling you. Happy Valentine's Day. I think men and women were made for each other. Literally. Don't believe me? Read the book. You can probably get it for 25 bucks. It's a $50 book. But I got this for 25 bucks and it seems to show up like that regularly on eBay. Or wherever, Amazon maybe, I don't know, you have to keep looking. Or you just pay $50 for it, or maybe you can find it somewhere. Or maybe if you really want this book, sometimes when I want a book, it just kind of like, oh, there it is, like, wow, that's cool, you know? But doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Everybody has these things happen, right? I'm not talking about like magical thinking or anything like that. It's just like, I've had it happen like so many times. I came from a world of books, and I would just like sometimes wanted a book, I'm like, whoa, there that is, like what are the odds? But it happens so many times, I guess the odds are pretty good. That if you want a book, it could just be like kind of there. And you know, I had to buy them a lot of times, sometimes not. I mean, there's some books that were really profound to me, and they were just free, like garbage, and it was exactly what I needed. Hey, that kind of stuff is in this book, and they want to call it magical thinking, which is bad. You're not supposed to do magic and stuff, but in the Bible, there's a proper context for all that stuff. And along with it comes all the self-help stuff, like Proverbs, and stuff I don't even know yet, because like I haven't read it all. But I mean, I've read like condensed versions, but this is good. It's a study Bible. You're supposed to like get into it with this. And I know that I have to have another copy of this because this is, if you would have told me when I was a young guy, and I thought Dungeons and Dragons was cool and it was new and it was invented, and I'm looking at Sears catalogs for TSR games, I was like, oh look, you can get Dungeons and Dragons from TSR from Sears, because you couldn't get that stuff back in the olden days if you're old, alright, as an adult who shouldn't care about those things. But if you wanted to get Dungeons and Dragons, you had to find like a hobby shop, and they weren't everywhere, they were like nowhere. You had to like find one and drive there, and whatever they had as their inventory, that's what was there. And maybe you could ask the guy to order something, and then still, you know, what are you going to do? But the Sears catalog, you could get Dungeons and Dragons figures. Happy Valentine's Day. So, was my point? If you would have told me back then, dork, I would have never believed you that I would think this was like, this is the Bible. Let me take it further. This is a good thing. This is a good one. Andy, shut up! Andy Milonakis is draining his kidneys so he can live longer. I said, do whatever you have to do. Now he's rapping. Look, do your vines over there. He's actually, isn't he great? Isn't he really have the rhymes? Okay, I'll come back. Hey, I'm back. Like I said I would be. So anyway, this is really cool. I think this is. Maybe you think I'm becoming lame. And like, he took the God pill or whatever. It was always just, you know, that's always in the background. In all my episodes. Okay, for many moons. I've been here since 2009. Alright? Always looking for daddy. Found him. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this. I couldn't get over Jesus of Nazareth, which I should get. The movie. Is that around? It's not around. See, look, I got this stuff all over the place. So, anyway, Jesus of Nazareth with Robert Palmer? What's his name? Jesus of Nazareth by Franco Zeffirelli from 1977. I saw the movie, and even still, I can't get out of my head, and I think of the music, the majestic score, because I've seen it twice now, and it's a 6 hour and 21 minute movie or something. Maybe it's even longer than that. I think it's like 6 hours and a half or something. So, I've seen it twice now, and I was like, why can't I get over this movie? Am I fearing end of days or anything? No, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with fear. Not to say I don't fear my father. I know. I get the power. Believe me, I do. I get that part of it and the choices I've made, and I have fear. Okay, and I haven't even done anything. The people I know, I fear for them. I'm like, oh, I want them to get in, you know? So let me finish. So I couldn't figure it out. Why? Jesus of Nazareth. Why? I can't, like, it put the whammy on me. What's the whammy? I don't, that's not a bad thing to say. It just really affected me in a deep, deep way. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah. And I figured it out. It's the greatest story ever told. There isn't a better one. It's the fucking story. I shouldn't say it with the F word in it. It's the story. It's the story. And when you read this, it makes so much sense why that movie, like, the Avengers, it's nothing. Watching a bunch of cartoons clash around and they're shiny and it looks like they're really fighting in dirt. And I'm old, I can't tell what I'm looking at. And all that Avengers Endgame, that was like Transformers to me, where it's all like choo, choo, choo. I'm not the only one. Red Letter Media, those guys are old now too, right? And I'm older than them. So that means I'm smarter. So I used to have songs of ignorance. Alright, other people had songs of innocence. I had songs of ignorance. And now I have songs of experience. And I learned from my ignorance. Okay? So I'm telling you. So, anyway, back on point. So Red Letter Media, they talked shit about him. What was I gonna say? Why did I bring them into it? I can't remember. I'm trying to juggle too many balls. I can't remember. But, shit, I hate when I do that. And other people hate it too. Oh, so they're getting old now too. Fuck it, I can't remember what it was. But, anyway, like the Avengers, the Transformers movies, they made a whole compilation. Go look at Red Letter Media's Transformers compilation, where it's 45 minutes of crashing metal, and you can't tell what the hell you're looking at because that's what Michael Bay directed. It's just close-ups of the shoulder blade of a robot. They don't have shoulders. I mean, they do, but it's not, you know, whatever. You can't tell what you're looking at, and then stuff's breaking, and then every now and then there's like Shia LaBeouf, and he's sweaty, and he's like, oh, for 45 minutes, Red Letter Media, that's all. I don't need to put it in my public liked videos for all to see, but the point is, it's just a mess to look at, alright, and they get it, so everybody thinks that's funny, so I'm no different than you guys, I get it. I tried to watch the first Transformers, happy Valentine's Day. I tried to watch the first Transformers movie at somebody else's house, and I just said it. I was like, I'm not even gonna pay attention to this anymore. This just looks, it's just the noise. They had the TV loud. You know, it's like, hey, we've got our sound system on, which just equals loud. It's just loud. All right, this is not loud with fuzz, but it's just loud, and it's just exactly what I said about Red Letter Media that I butchered and wasted your time with. I apologize for that. But yeah, it's just like crashing metal. Happy Valentine's Day. I have a video recommendation for this episode. I want you to watch 10 hours of the Nyan Cat. Or even better, I want you to watch 10 hours of some guy watching a Nyan Cat and then, you know, eat cat food. Because you probably live with a cat, right? I know, I'm not kidding. Nobody that I know would have a cat. I'm just kidding. I don't know you. No, I was just thinking, things about lovers. I really cared about a girl so much that she had no idea how much I hated cats our entire relationship. Because I don't hate them, but I can't live with them. I can't live with you having a cat. I don't want to kiss somebody that has cats. I don't want to be in there. It's just gross. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't respect it. I just think less of it. That being said, I would never be mean to a cat. I told you already, there's a cat in the old episodes. It was winter. Here's a Valentine story. It was winter. It was really cold, and the cat was going to freeze to death. And it may have been February. I don't really remember. But it was so cold that the cat meowed so that I would get it, because it was its last chance to survive. And it was a neighborhood cat, so it was kind of like used to people. So I took it in and kept it warm. And the dog looked at me like I was out of my fucking mind. Like, what are you doing? So then I had to make it warm and keep the cat separated from the dog and not let it piss on any of my stuff or anything, which it didn't do. And it kind of worked out. And I remember what year it was because I watched a bootleg of Ponyo. And I was like, why is this on YouTube? And it was in Japanese. And it was a Miyazaki movie. And that's back when they put like whole movies on. And I was like, this just came out in the movies. Because I had some project still developing then. And I was like, here it is, it's in Japanese. You wanna watch Ponyo? I think it was like in 8 parts or something. But it didn't matter because they just went auto. So there you go. Might have been February, I don't know. Valentine's Day memories specifically. I remember, this is another sad one, but it is a memory. I sang to a woman who was kind of like, she was a tomboy. And she was pretty, and she wasn't a lesbian or anything like that. She was just like dude-ish or something. I dated 2 chicks like that actually. And she was kind of dude-ish. But she was very woman. She looked like a woman and everything. She wore lipstick. It was the 90s and everything like that. So it was like, the 90s was great for women's looks because they just wore red lipstick, and that's like enough for me. And they made their face like pale or cover up or I don't fucking care. And they dyed their hair blonde. That's all it takes. So, and be skinny. So anyway, she had all that going for her. And I came to her window to serenade her, and she was like, what are you doing? She just like didn't get it at all. And she laughed, but it was like embarrassed laughter, like I don't want any of that. And there's a couple girlfriends where I did like romantic stuff, like prepared dinners and stuff like that, which you'd think women would want, and it totally didn't work. They didn't like it or anything. And it wasn't because I was trying to rail them. It was already somebody I was fucking. And I was like, hey, let's do this. And I'm just tired of dating the kind of trash that doesn't appreciate that. Happy Valentine's Day. I need a new kind of woman. I ordered one from Japan. It's got the downloaded soul of Mikuchu. I think that was her name. I'll have to check the invoice. Yeah. I can't fuck yet. Not all the parts are here. I'm not going to just fuck like... I don't think anything I can fuck came in yet. That's sad. It's sad that, like it's kind of been enculturated. I spit out chocolate chip. It's been enculturated already. The fuck doll. It's kind of like, in the background, it's kind of like, people don't talk about them, but they have them now. Not everybody. But apparently we live like such a convenient lifestyle that, I don't know, people can afford to buy them. It's become a thing. They set up a brothel for them. Happy Valentine's Day. They set up a brothel for rubber dolls in Canada where you never have to meet another person. You just go to a room, you fuck it, somebody comes in, dumps out the cum, cleans it out, puts another Viagra pussy in there or whatever. And then they shut it. I think they shut it down already. But it did exist. It was open. I seen a tour of the place. It's dumb. But, you know, Canada is very progressive. The banks pay for it. Oh, see? That's so lame. I feel like it's a sitcom thing. Like, oh, don't mention the thing. Oh, my libido. Whatever. But it's a sitcom trope, right? Because it's from a real thing. Like, you can't... You have physical pain because of stress. Yeah, man, I'm sorry I'm not together. I can feel my guts. I know where they are inside my body because of the burning. And the muscles on top of them too have a tingling. And now there's a thing in my solar plexus. Let's podcast through it. Something really nice though. I really want to give you something good. Oh. I got sick. And I wasn't treated like a disease. Like, she got sick too then, which was kind of dumb. But she said, I don't care, I love you anyway. And she loved me up and everything, even though I was sick, and took care of me and everything. And that was a great memory. That's not really Valentine's Day, but I'm just trying to give you something good about love. Isn't it great when a woman, even if she's just playing house, like really gets into it, and you know the love of a woman, and like you're an adult man, and anybody gives a fuck about you. Because when you grow up and you're a man, nobody cares about you. And then, you know, if you're a dad and you're a man, and you're not a weekend dad, and weekend dads aren't a bad thing, they just don't get to keep their kids. But sadly, what I'm finding increasingly is there's a lot of single dads that get to have the kids because the moms just can't keep it together. Or don't even, I don't know what's going on. It's so sad. I kind of can't stand it. I want people to stay together. I'm tired of all these, like, broken homes. I mean, it's just like so enculturated now. It's like 75% of people get divorced in America. Is it 65%? Either way, it's more than half. It's more than half of the marriages end in divorce. 5% of the women are virgins before marriage. How can people, you gotta stay together. You know, I mean, you can't stay together with somebody that's horrible. That's the other thing. People pick a dead-end relationship. They're like, oh, I'm gonna just do anything, keep it going, and then they get manipulated by the other person. And it could be a man or a woman on either side of the relationship. I'm not saying that it's something women do to men. I'm saying men do it too. Totally take advantage of women. And it's sad because it just seems like, oh, we've so lost our way from basics. And all this is your ABCs of life, but it's profound. And I can't help but think that you could read it when you're younger and get something out of it. But it's one of those books you'll read again and again. And as you get older, it'll get deeper. But for me, I had a bunch of nonsense and everything that was lies warping this book. And that's what everything else is. Lies warping this. Because this is the manual for our planet. This is the manual for Earth. It really is. And you don't need the Avengers Endgame because I've already seen the greatest movie ever made. Robert Powell, is that the right name? Robert Powell's portrayal of Jesus, Olivia Hussey, Ernest Borgnine. They said, I don't know why, but they made Ernest Borgnine Centurion, and they said, we're going to make everybody look great in this movie. Ernest Borgnine's going to look the best he ever looked at any movie. Forget Here from Here to Eternity. You got to see, forget about Deliverance. You got to see Ernest Borgnine. You got to see Ernest Borgnine in Jesus of Nazareth. It's free on YouTube. Have a Sunday service with yourself. Call your father. Put Jesus of Nazareth on. And if you did that and do that, leave comments and let me know if you cried about it. I can't watch this movie with anybody. But like I said, of course other movies suck now. I just keep thinking, like, I don't care about anything. Like, yes, I'll be entertained or whatever. Can you hear the rehearsing? Alright? But I'm just being silly. So, do I even make any sense to anybody? Read the book. It's from Old Time Life Books advertising campaign. So I can't hold it up anymore because it hurts. So, it's the greatest story ever told. You don't need any superheroes. Yeah. I'm gonna say it. Jesus. And it's Valentine's Day. If you're not happy, I gotta move. My back hurts in the back. Now, first it was my front, now it's my back. So now that it's Valentine's Day, maybe you're not so happy. Don't let anybody hear you. Call your father, your heavenly father. Maybe not your earthly father. You know if you think it's appropriate to call your earthly father because you didn't on Valentine's Day. And you're like, I always do and I didn't. And you're trying to stick it to him or something because you're mad at him or something. Just give him a call. Text him you love him. I forget. I'm an old-fashioned guy, I forget. I should be telling everybody to do everything texting, because that's what you do. Even old people, everybody texts. My parents text. Ow! That's a new pain. I hurt my neck when I did that. Funny gesture. I better get my fingers away from my eyes before I'm squinking at you like Popeye the One-Eyed Sailor. That was actually, I'm going to tell you this, you should know this. That was a nickname that one of my girlfriends gave to my penis. Yeah, that's what she named him. She liked to name him. I wonder how many she... Popeye, the One-Eyed Sailor. I told you I'm old. Women don't know about who that is anymore. It's Robin Williams. Yeah, he looks like a circumcised cock if he shaves his head. Look, think about it. Think of Robin Williams doing this. He looks like a cut cock. He's frowning.
What am I? Look at that.
That's one of the impressions I can still do.
Son of a bitch, where's all of it?
He's choking her. She's gagging on it. Happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is for lovers. Popeye and olive oil fucking. And then Brutus, he can't do shit about it. You know why? He's at home in bed with a hernia. Guess who's over there? Alice the Goon is his nurse. Put a bag over her head. And cover those hairy arms. And pray for death. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how to finish that. I got nothing. So, happy Valentine's Day. This is my Lo-Fi Chill Jams Valentine's Hang. Measuring penises. I'm trying to think of sweet memories from Valentine's Day. And now it hurts because I'm being wicked and I shouldn't say these things. Oh. It's good though, right? Hold on. Oh. So, I can't remember what the joke was. I better forget it. What was I gonna say? Oh, measuring my penis. Girls want to measure penises. Have you ever... Tell me, did she not want to measure your penis with a ruler? I'll tell you another funny story. It's kind of romantic. One time we got an apartment and we found on what do you call it, the awning above the door, like, you know, like the door archway have like a little, I know what the word is, I just can't think of it. There's like the crenellations that frame the work, the molding. Up above the molding above the door we found a ruler, but it wasn't a ruler, it was called a Peter meter. And the Peter meter had like little fellas club, big, you know, and then it went up to, and like if you had like, however, like if you were in 8 inches, you were the big boys club, and then it had all these like disgusting things. It was called the Peter meter. And I have no idea what happened to it now, but I had it for years. It was a ruler that somebody put above their doorway for measuring your dick. And yes, my dick was measured with it, none of your business. But yeah, I was like, I remember thinking like, shouldn't we wash it off first? She's like, it's okay. I'm like, no, wash it off first. That thing was on top of a door. When we took the carpet up from that place, there was newspapers from 1942. I remember specifically, and a lot of pennies. They put pennies under the carpet in 1942. Was that like, is that like, did they need pennies back in 1942? But anyway, yeah, and they were from 1942 or older, whatever. So it was like all these pennies, like here you go. I gave them to my dad because he's like here you go. You can have all these old pennies or whatever. I'm like, okay. But I kept the newspapers because they had Sunday funnies, and in 1942 the full color Sundays really were something because I had a stack of them, and they were underneath the carpeting that we tore up. I told you all this before, but anyway, like I can't remember the name of the one, like Terry Canyon or something. It wasn't that one. But it was like the whole page, like they had a whole page. Like, you know how you open it and there's like 6 different strips on a page and they're all squashed by digital squashing and everything looks terrible and nothing's funny. You'd have like Rick Canyon or whatever, and he had a whole page, like a whole page. It was really cool every Sunday. Why did they ever stop doing that? It doesn't make any sense. That they wouldn't like people read comic books now than ever. Why don't they just bring that nonsense back? I guess because they just don't want people to read the newspaper. Because did the hearse go digital? What's left of newspaper empires? Happy Valentine's Day. So anyway, stay focused on Valentine's Day thing. Yes, you're a man in this world. You know that a woman's tried to measure your penis, right? Especially if you ever got really serious about anybody. If you've ever really gotten serious about somebody, as fornicators in our fallen world, probably she's tried to measure your penis. It's a thing. I want to see, why? Why do you need to know? To compare them to all the other ones? Because that's all I can think about now. It's not helping my thing get hard. Now I'm getting angry again. And this time, it's in the front. Yeah, I don't know. We want to talk about Valentine's Day stuff. I'll get out of the gutter. That's all I can think about is sex stuff, I guess. It tells you how deep my relationships are. I don't think I've ever really known love. I don't know if I've ever really been loved by a woman. I'll tell you another sad Valentine's story. There was a moment where I was with somebody and we were on a car ride, and no joke, we were gonna tell each other we loved each other at the same time, and she said it and I stopped. And I think it hurt her feelings because she knew I was gonna say it, because we really were. We hadn't said it to each other before. This would have been the first time that we actually said it to each other. And we were driving in a car, and we just had like that moment, and it was gonna happen, and she said it and I didn't. I think I made the right decision, but what would have happened? Again, like I have like the worst Valentine's stories. I think about it a little bit. I'm like, what would have happened if I just would have went with it and said, because I felt it, like that was a moment when I was like, oh, I'm falling in love with her. And it was the same moment for her. And, you know, I don't want her now. I'm terrible, you know. I wanted the things I wanted when I was young to build a lifetime with somebody. I don't know what I want to do with what's left. I feel like I'm gonna have to pick up pieces for my loved ones. I'm just kidding. I don't know. When you get old, if you got nothing going on, you're supposed to be like a refuge or sanctuary for anybody that you're responsible for. And be a good grandpa, all that stuff. Be the greatest grandpa. I've got a hat. It's official. It's over. And it's not just a lame hat. It's embroidered. Greatest grandpa. I'm not gonna dare get up and point to it because feel like I'm in a good position. So hold now I'm gonna wreck it. I gotta hold everything together. Well, that's what it feels like. It feels like I gotta hold myself okay. So I mean my guts. I don't mean like get it together, man, like in your mind, man. I don't mean that nonsense. So, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. I was trying to think of stories from weddings I went to that were nice. I don't have any. A really long Catholic wedding, and I was like, oh man, like where I'm sitting, I can't leave. You know? I did eventually. I was like, I'm just like, it was just too long. It was too long. All right, and this was family that I respected and everything, and I was in there. I was not in the wedding, but I was there that day. I showed up, and I was like, fuck this. And it was in the summer. It was really hot, and like there's old ladies and shit, and they were like the first to leave. There's nothing to do, but there's like all the candle lighting and stuff. I don't know about. I'm not Catholic, but I feel like I know all about it from that one time. Jeez. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes to Orthodoxy, and but I don't know about that either. But this was just like, come on, man. And then you can see the flower maidens or whatever, they're wobbling. And I remember wedding bands and then DJs, and then people were like, sometimes people would pick a wedding band that played like they were all played like the Who. They were good at Who stuff. There's things like that, like they focused on like they were like a cover band, but they focused on like all wedding bands were cover bands. Just go watch The Wedding Singer. It's like that, but it's like not like a sitcom. Like Wedding Singer's like a sitcom. In real life, the bands just played like it's such a shitty thing that's gone now. Like, what could happen now with like wedding, like, well, weddings, yeah, great, that'd be great if they came back, but if people stayed together. But the wedding singer, like, performing, like, what do people play now? I don't know, nothing I'd want to leave to see. Then again, I don't like The Who, but that's one of my things I remember saying, like, wow, this is really, like this, they really sound like The Who. And they were just like some guys that now, you know, they never, I'm not trying to be mean, but like they never became anything. They're just like, they're really good. They did this. They're probably a Who cover band for a long time. And it's an odd choice for a wedding. What songs do they have? They played other stuff too that wasn't like, they did other stuff because you have to. But like mostly it was Who stuff because they wanted that, because that's who they were. All the lame songs from weddings. There's this one song, you'd think it'd be burned in my brain, but it's like, oh, what's the guy's name? It's like the daddy daughter dance song. Sounds like a sex move. Let's do the daddy daughter dance. Let's daddy dom you. So whatever. So no, there's like this song, like some Christian, like Bill Elliott or something, Christian gospel guy, and he had this song about fathers and daughters, and it's fucking weird. And then there's all these songs that people would come out to at their weddings that were like living on a prayer as a wedding song, like to come out for the bride and groom to come out to. And then just weird stuff like It's True. People, not as much so much like as Imagine It Was in the 80s, but this isn't for wedding singers, this is for doing DJ shit. When I'm talking about when I did this stuff, I never had anything to do with a wedding band. I never seen one single wedding band at any wedding that I worked at. When I used to go to them, when they had wedding singers in the 1980s, I just want to make all this clear because it's probably not making sense, and I can't believe you're still here. Thank you for that. So in the 80s, I went to weddings, all right? And then in the 2000s, I worked at weddings. So that's all DJs. That's all just a big, coming with the box, and you just find it. Like now, like, ow. Now, people just get the guy, I'm sorry, get your phone and just put the phone to their whole thing and you got the song. So they can play, the DJ now can play any song like you want. They can play it at your whatever function. And I watched that happen for years. And I also watched, like, I'm not playing that one. Like, there was some kind of thing that the kids wanted. There was a Nicki Minaj song and the kids wanted to be played and the parents were like, oh, whatever. And the DJ, the MC rather, who was also a DJ, very tastefully said, I'm sorry, I'm not playing that for kids. You guys don't know what that song is. And he's handled it perfectly, you know? And the kids got the message because the kids probably knew what the song was about. And like, okay, you're not gonna play that song. And I was like, Dick Bicycle or something. Like, it wasn't that song. It was probably Starships or something, because that was something that people wanted to hear. But it wasn't that song, but it was something inappropriate. It was Nicki Minaj, and he wouldn't play it. And I thought it was cool. And there's all kinds of little things like that you would see, where like how an MC has to handle like the multitudes of everybody like requesting stuff, and how come I didn't get my way yet? And then getting more drunk, and then people are like, hey, I need, and they think it's gonna be, they have like the greatest idea ever, and it's some kind of fucking disaster that would like ruin the wedding, and they want to do some dumb thing. It's not. I'm starting to feel like, oh, I can't even talk about what I know, because it's gonna sound like that Patton Oswalt bit where the comedian somebody wants to announce a wedding and the guy's hammered. That's what happens at weddings too. People want to do dumb shit, not just the toast, but like in the midst of things, people have like a great idea because there's cameras everywhere now, because we're in a digital age. Everybody has phones. Everybody wants to do shenanigans and hijinks and do jackass stuff, and it just winds up in stuff that nobody laughs at, and everybody goes, oh, and then they remember it later and everybody's sober, and like, I mean, so I imagine, I'm not there when they're sober again, alright? They leave and I'm cleaning up, okay? And then we're listening to Bob Marley's jamming like every fucking time we'd clean up. And then some places we'd go back to the same banquet halls, and if it was us that was being there was certain ladies that worked at those places, so when it was us, if he started to play jam and they would shut it down, like, no. Because it's like, you know, years of stuff just gone to the same, you know, your area, your region or whatever, or a little bit outside it or sometimes whatever. to make people have their special day. And a lot of people's special days, just being behind the scenes, just ruined it for me. And I'm not against them. I think they're great, but I can't look at them, you know, like, if I would ever get married again, my own would be great, and I'd love that, and I wouldn't have a DJ or anything like that, I don't think. No offense. I know a really great DJ I would hire right away. I know who I'd call. But I don't even want to do that. Like, I wouldn't even, that's not how I would do anything if I ever got married again. But it's Valentine's Day, so I guess I would get into that. Yeah, I don't know. It's Extreme Narcissism TV. Getting married again. I don't know. That's one of those things. Let's play that by ear. I can't. Why? Who? Me liking somebody? I don't like anybody. I really don't. Why would I like somebody? I don't even want anybody around. It's not good. It's not good. And I know that it's not good because I am around and I see people and everything, and I've alienated myself from them, and now I've herniated myself from them. And I guess I'm on hiatus. I'm a hiatus hernia. I have a feeling, maybe for kicks and maybe because it kind of feels good. I did an old episode that's not any good. But do you remember when I got into bed years ago with the Rose Tico? Which has to be after the Last Jedi came out, because she wasn't in the movies before then. So I have this potato and it looks like Rose Tico and it farts and I sit in bed with it. Maybe I will sit with my farting potato in bed, probably just me by myself, in like a bed to do a episode, because other than that I'm probably going to be on hiatus. I don't have a hiatal hernia, that's like an esophageal thing, right? But no, it's hiatal. I know it's esophageal hernia. But I don't have that. So I don't know what I have. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for somebody I can't stand to tell me, because boy do I have a problem with doctors. It really is one of my, it's like, you know, what's something beyond a pet peeve that's a real big problem for how polite I am to people that are, I just don't like doctors. I don't like them. It's a man. You're not supposed to like them. You're supposed to take care of yourself. Man's supposed to do everything. It's in the Bible, probably. No. He got rid of Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's not just sodomy. It's like, but that's enough. He wiped it from the earth. Happy about, I don't know, it sounds so mean and phobic and everything. Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Whatever that means to you. Happy Valentine's Day. You know why? It's like dumb women. I like it when they say Valentine's and they want to go to the library to rent videos. And then you go there and it's like, oh, they're just selling all the DVDs at the library now. And then there's no reason to go at all. And they'll just make libraries places where people go to get their shots or something. Oh, it's just a vaccine booth place. People mill around inside there. I don't know, whatever. Make it a drive-through donut shop. I don't know, some libraries are big. Turn them into Ghostbusters franchises, restaurants. Until that's not popular ever, and then they shut down, and then it just becomes like, yeah, this is a place that used to be Ghostbusters when I was growing up. Ghostbusters is a franchise. I don't know. I think I'm winding down. I'm hurting. Maybe I earned it. Maybe I deserved it. Maybe it's what I need. It's definitely limited me. And I can't come at you with the anger and everything like I want to. So it's time for me. I said I was going on hiatus, and I kind of went away, but I didn't. And I hurt myself, and now I hurt myself again, because I couldn't just leave well enough alone. You're hurt. Take it easy. I was like, I can do it. I'm a man, a grown man, with no woman here to say you shouldn't do that. So I just do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I eat whatever I want, except pussy. I don't have any. I'm not trying to get any. I just want one. I want to keep. I just want one to keep. I would do it whenever she wants. Just tell her to wipe it down, whatever. I'll do it, right? But I'm one of these guys like, oh, you gotta eat the pussy and eat the. I don't care about that shit. You want me to do it? I'll do it. Get her ready. I get them done in 10 minutes because that's all they would give me. They're like, you got 10 minutes. You gotta be out of here. Get it done. I'm like, all right. So I'm just glad to be here today. So Yeah, I think we found out a lot of things about me, way too much. I'm feeling vulnerable. And in my physical infirmity, I'm revealing way too much about myself. And definitely disgusting stuff about my sexual life I shouldn't say. And if there would be my one true love of my life watching my YouTube videos, she's gonna not think this is cool. It's not gonna be a turn on for her to find out how disgusting I've been in the past. She's just gonna think I want to do all that stuff to her. I don't. I don't want to brick in anybody's face. But I have. I've done it all. To a woman. I'm not talking about like gay shit or anything. No, I haven't done it all. Because I don't want to do that stuff. I'm a man. There's a natural homophobia that comes when people go, ah, because you're supposed to. Because men, you see men doing it. Like, it's like, no, I don't do that. You don't do that. But they're doing it. I'm going to let them. It's not my right to say what they can do that, but I don't want to see it when I'm coming around the corner. I just don't. It's gross. It's just like, it's two dudes, like I can't get it out of my head. And then I came to terms with it. I don't have to. It's supposed to be something I'm averted to. It's cool. I think I learned that from like Owen Benjamin or something. Doesn't that sound like some shit he would say? Guys, it's natural homophobia. You're supposed to go ill so that you don't like touch wieners or something. All the stuff that he probably did. That's empty. So, I think women are great. I think they'd be happy if they would just let a man manage man things and then manage a house and take care of their man. I think men would be happy too because they're just like useless without like a woman as like part of their main purpose and the kids and everything. But now people are so hideously, happy Valentine's Day. Now people are so downgraded that I get it. There's a lot of people here like, well, I don't want to go through all these horrors that are planned for your globalization plans. Can't we just let these people that are going to be dead ends just like get old and die out and let them have their cummies and stuff and not give them regions or places to live in because again, Sodom and Gomorrah will just be destroyed. But like, can't we just let them die out? Do we really have to like do all these horrible manufactured apocalypse to people? All these like many horrible things? I don't know. In this book, it talks about like in time all things will be revealed. I feel like I know a lot about how the world works, and although I know like, you know, friends that were weirdos, like I went to John Hopkins and things like that, and they're weird people. They told me weird stuff years ago, and I didn't want to listen to them because I didn't know what they meant. Now I get it. All that stuff has come to pass, and it's just political science books, baby. It's just books you can go that talk about globalization. Bernays, Brzezinski, Arthur Kessler's Tragedy, Ghost in the Machine, Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, who else, and so on and so forth. And you don't even need to buy them. You can just like find out about them on YouTube. Go look at Jay Dyer's Tragedy and Hope 8-part series. That's enough. If you just have only one thing about what's globalization, what are the globalists, how do I make sense out of the world, Scott? Go watch some other guy's videos. I think I have it in my public like videos for all to see. And if I don't, I just told you what it was. Tragedy and Hope, Jay Dyer. It's an 8-part series. You want to find out? Find out. It's not Bible stuff. It's like politics stuff. And a lot of it's, we're soaking in it. A lot of it's already happened. But this says all will be revealed, okay? So what are we learning about? The island, all the releases that say the MK Ultra stuff is true, all the stuff that says about like what drugs do, that's like one of the newer ones that came out. All that's been like effects on minds and how to alter people and stuff like that. All that stuff, there's new stuff from that. There's all these things that have come out, releases that sounded like crazy talk, but the government said, no, we're gonna tell you, releasing stuff, and I can't figure out why. It's not because there's any good guys in there. You see Trump with the tan? If that's real weird. That's weird. Everybody knew he did the tan thing, but like that is so strange. It definitely paints a weird image of him because it's like this ghastly uncooked chicken, and on top of it is a spray tan. Like it's exactly what people joked about, but it is that. I don't know, like every now and then like a weird thing gets to me, and I saw the Trump with the spray tan thing, and that's weird. And his hair looks better than it ever has. It's like more blowing around and not looking weird when it blows around. Got a new technology up there. I've noticed this though. I remember celebrities, happy Valentine's Day, celebrities that their hair was gone, and then not even in movies, but like, how'd those guys get their hair back? Like Matthew McConaughey was really bald, and so was Heath Ledger. Those guys were bald really bad. And I'm not like a celebrity hound, that's dumb. But I watch movies and I'm like, hey, how do those guys get all their hair back? I guess there's something you can do. I don't know what it is. I don't care. But it's, I don't know. I guess you can do that now if you have the money. You don't need it. Pray forgiveness for your sins. Be bald if you lose your hair, I guess. Or pray to get it back again. I don't know. Hey, maybe it'll work. What? Where am I going with this? Yeah, I just think all movies are crap now because a movie made in 1977 rather, already told the greatest story ever told. Robert Powell in Jesus of Nazareth. And I guess like the secondary primary character would be like Mary. The way they do the book. I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of people in it. Star-studded cast. It was made to look good. They make stuff to look good now, but it's like an MTV way, which is all like this. It's not necessarily good. They wanted to make something of beauty on cinema, and it was shot on film. And Ernest Borgnine, they made everybody has to look their best as they can, and they did that. And I'm not like, it's so weird to think of Ernest Borgnine as centurion in the Bible, but you know what? It works. And now, because I saw that movie and it had such an effect on me, John the Baptist is Michael York. So, you know what I mean? Like, every time I think about, like, or read about something like John the Baptist, my brain goes to Michael York. Sorry. You know, hey. But maybe someday I will get to know. I'm like, that's John the Baptist. And that's what he looks like. Isn't that great? It's, what am I talking about? It's a mystery. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's in this book. Someday you too could meet them all if you get in. Or somehow my Father's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. I would really like to help make that happen. And in a weird way, I didn't know that that's what I wanted, but it's what I wanted, because for years I was talking about like people need to stop pushing us closer together, make us live in our own filth. We need to remember where we came from, and we need to be able to take care of ourselves again like we never could, and spread out and have a piece of this planet. Everything, this place was made for us, and we rule over it. And that's what's in this book. Our Father made the earth for us, and it was good, and it still is, even now today with everything they're doing to it. And all we have to do is find our way back again. And just like Lady Rothschild said, if my sons wanted world peace, you could have it really quick. Now, what do we got to do to crack the hearts of the Rothschilds and the royal family and all those other demon, evil, reptile things? Is it possible to get through to them, or they need to get blasted by the Lord? I don't know, read the book and find out. I'm still in it, but I know a lot of it. I know a lot about all the stuff through it, but I never even heard of the book of Sirach, and it's really good. I'm not even fucking around, and I shouldn't say fuck when I talk about the Bible. Really, like, things like that start to bother me a little bit now. Not out of superstition. It's just like this respect and power and awe, where when I read something that is so deeply meaningful to me that it changes me, and I don't know if I want to talk the same anymore. You know, but then I can forget myself and just go back into cursing and everything. But it really is all the stuff I never had before in my whole life that my parents didn't say to me, I didn't observe in other people. And then I went out in the world and grew up and became a grown-up, and I went out doing my spiritual seeking, finding parts of something that was true and trying to hold on to that and throw everything else away. And I watched so many people go crazy and ruin their life. I see even people ruin their marriage over New Age nonsense. Oh, they went to a fortune teller, so they're not happy now, so they're going to ruin their marriage over it. There's so much stuff like this, and that was the point. It was to break up families. These are just, in the political books that I just mentioned before, about how to break up families, a New Age agenda. It's an actual agenda. And all it is perversion of all stuff from in here to lead us astray, but everything you want the right way, for a way that you could live with yourself and with other people, even with the world as wicked as it is, and become a strange orthodox person. You would get this book, and it would soothe you. And call your father. It's Valentine's Day. And please don't tell him. I know he knows already because he knows my heart. He knows all the sex stuff I said. And it's all fornicating. Well, no. I was married. A lot of it was... Yeah. A lot of it was fornicating. I have guilt about it because I know why it's no good. Because in detail... I'm not going to hold it up anymore. But in detail in the Bible, in all these different places, it gives you like a rundown of things. And then, not a rundown, but like, here's a piece of something about like why you shouldn't sleep around. Wow, that's really interesting. And then later, from some other guy from another book of the Bible or whatever, another part of it, another guy says something about why you shouldn't date, a woman or look at, prostitutes or whatever it is. And it tells you why, and it makes sense. Or, things that are good about women, like you shouldn't go for a man who does this stuff or whatever. And it's right. And it tells you why. Why to avoid the man. Don't go down lonely corners with a man that is killed. All this stuff, street wisdom, because the streets were rough back then, man. They didn't have the Bible. There was people preaching the gospel of it, depending on the time frame of it. But everything wasn't all together. You know what I mean? It is now. But everything, Jesus came here. He set everything straight. It didn't make sense to me, but it really makes sense, and it creates a context even today for the world we live in. It's the greatest story ever told. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. And it just, like, I don't need it. Like, all the other stuff, like, who cares? Like, I'm definitely a mammal out of pop culture. Am I going to become, like, a Bible podcast and just start talking about stuff that I don't really know a lot about? No, I'm very hesitant to do so, but it's very exciting to me. And it sounds lame to you, but it's very exciting to me. And it doesn't pale. And I want to say all kinds of stuff about it, but I feel like I shouldn't. Like, I feel like I talk about stuff now I shouldn't. Like, it's kind of even in the Bible where it says, like, I mean, we know you get really filled up with all this stuff, but, this is like a personal relationship. Maybe you don't want to talk about it. But then in other places it says, hey, you need to tell people about this because they're miserable without it. But you can't really tell somebody, just tell them about the Bible, because they're like, oh, he's a Bible guy now, just tell him about the Bible. No, you don't know where I've been. Like, I have a whole life story. I'm old. I have grown adults going to the 30s. I'm old. And it's okay. I'm not, I don't know. I guess I'm not that old, but I feel old because I know how many years we get. So, I think I got 56 more. It came from me in a dream. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. I'm just kidding. It's a private joke that I can't even begin to explain. So I'm like, why did I put that in there? Nobody could get that. It has nothing to do with the Bible. Don't read anything to that nonsense. I said that. So anyway, yeah. It really is like, man, like people, you're trained, you're conditioned to say the Bible. That's lame. How low did Scott go? Is he like a recovering alcoholic that he found God or something? No. You don't know the trouble I've seen. You don't know the road I've traveled. And bringing people here, it's terrifying, and this fear never goes away. It just changes because, like, it's lifelong, and you love them and everything. And if you do it right. And even if you don't do it right, you love them anyway. And I'm somewhere in the middle, I guess. I don't know. So where was I going with this? You have but one life to live. World building. What are you building? Love is important. People were made for pairing up. This is a planet of humans that are supposed to steward everything else, like lord over. Like, we each get a little piece. Piece of ass, piece of land, for peace on earth, for peace of mind, for all mankind. Amen. I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say something. I trailed off. I can't remember what it was. Like several times in this episode. I'm not my best. Or maybe I am at my brightest, even in my infirmity. Talking some stuff that matters to me. This really does matter to me. So, yeah, I still feel kind of an embarrassment to talk about the God stuff. I do. I'm not trying to say it's in a good way, like it's my humility or anything. I don't mean it like that. I mean it just because I'm in awe of it and unqualified, And everything that I'd seen over my entire adult life in the seeking and just being surrounded and like it's all free around me, like self-help books and all that stuff, and then going to places and okay, let's spend money and go visit this guru place. It's all weird, dumb, it's like embarrassing, naive, like what were we thinking going this place and checking all these things and like money rackets. It's all scams, all of it's scams and all this crazy stuff. Oh, these people just want to like have orgies and stuff. This isn't like, there's no religion here or whatever. This is just orgies and weirdness and throwing all your money into just living an orgy lifestyle. And no, I've never been to an orgy or anything like that, but yeah, like I've been around all these slimy different types of people. Cults. I've spent, like I say the most is like a month with a cult, but I've done that more than once. Different cults. And all that stuff that people do, and like, okay, I'm bringing the massage tables and shit like that and moving things around. Because I worked at a center and they did all this nonsense. So the loonies are in and out because they pay for the workshops and the weekends and the self-brainwashing seminars and shit like that. And I worked them. I wasn't one of them. I worked. That was my job, to do whatever. Order stuff, Teflex, melt things in the dehydrator, make fake protein powders and charge $40 for a mason jar full of juice leavings that are dried out on Excalibur. And it's such a ripoff. It's exactly what the health food stores do. I used to grow wheatgrass and then clip that and juice it, and they would drink the juice and then dry the clippings and then put that into as protein powder, and then they'd rehydrate the juice and all the vitamins that had been taken out. I'm not kidding. Like this is part of the, like what they did at this scammery place. They would juice with their Excalibur Precious Juicer. It's a bitch to clean. And you clean the Excalibur Juicer. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm hurting. So they would juice the grass, like literal grass, like in your yard, like wheatgrass. It's just grass in your yard. That's what it looks like. So you juice the wheatgrass, and they would drink that, and they have that. Oh, it's got all the vitamins in it. And then they would take the leftover pulp that you can't do nothing with because it's pulp and will hurt you, and they dehydrate it. And on the Excalibur Mega Dehydrator, I'm just letting you know that this is all real. I have to drop all these details, okay? So that I want you to believe it, okay? So you dry this shit out and fill a mason jar full of it, and broccoli juice shit and carrot juice shit and all the pulp that you can't eat and do anything with. Dry it on the Teflex, blend it again, and put it inside a mason jar as $40 a jar powder. Everything that's nutrients has been taken out, and these motherfuckers were getting away with selling it in mason jars, and they had me make it. I'm guilty. I did that. But I was so dumb that I didn't realize, like, while I'm doing this, like, yeah, like, this is the garbage leftovers, and they drank all the wheatgrass juice, vitamins, or whatever it is. They drank all the blood out of the plant. And it's empty already, and they're selling it back to their customers who are like middle-aged ladies that want to feel special because their husbands don't care about them, or they're divorced and their kids don't come to see them. All of those things. And some of them are still hot, yeah, but they want to be special. So there's the new age to make them special, make them feel like Earth Mother goddesses, to do pagan Wicca stuff and tell their daughters to join them and come to seminars and just like be sluts and whatever. There's so many different sad ways women can go when they get older, and I've seen a lot of this stuff. And the one thing I can proudly say is I didn't take advantage of any of those women, because there was such a weight that hung over me. The more, like, I didn't know what was happening, but I'm like, it's the disillusionment with new age stuff, where I'm like, this, I knew it was nothing, but this is really nothing. And more than that, it's harmful, because people are taking, happy Valentine's Day, people are making choices for their lives based on like a roll of a dice, the flip of cards. This is all magic, and in the Bible it explains to you why it's dangerous. But you don't need the Bible to explain why it's dangerous. I just did. I lived it. I don't need it explained to me, but it is in here. I read stuff like this where it says don't do magic in all its forms and all stuff. It says why? Because there's nobody else to go to. You have a Father, and He's given us everything. You don't know what you're talking to when you pray to these inferior anything that isn't your Father, because that's what we have down here. That's how it works. and it makes so much sense. There's a math and a mechanics to it, and that's what's in a Bible, the mechanics of how to live life and to make sense of what a fallen world is, and the whole thing makes perfect sense. And I can't say all of it because I haven't read it all, but everything I've read is completely digestible. And if I'm not sure about it, usually there's a footnote at the bottom of the page. I just can't get over it, like who I was and how I grew up and where I came. I just feel so, hey, I'm glad to have it. I'm understating it. It has just changed my life. But it wouldn't have when I was younger, because it wouldn't have made sense. But now that I'm older, and I know I said this before, I'm going to say it one more time more succinctly. But now that I'm older, the stuff that I've lived and all my many failures, all right, this book makes so much sense because I read this and I'm like, this is what's in the Bible. I lived a lot of the stuff that are the stories in here and failed the tests. And like, this is why this didn't work out for me. I always tell you the stories of my failures and stuff like that, and my bitterness about women. I didn't get to build. I wanted to go through my lifetime with somebody I didn't get to. I'm sad about it, but it's okay because it's the truth. And also, it's the story of so many other people, and it's not getting any easier for the younger generation to pair up, but it might. If the good guys can get any ground, it might, because all the horrors of the world we live in, I think, will push people back to what's a man and what's a woman, how do I want to be, and since they're hiding that information, it's going to be highly wanted, so people are going to want to know that stuff. So some of the thoughts I have sometimes when I think about reshaping my channel is, how do I make the kind of stuff people want to hear that they're not getting, more appetizing and inoffensive, and it never occurs, and it still has all the bright colors and everything YouTube wants, but I can even use puppets and stuff and get away with all of it. But it involves more time and craft. But guess what? I have a feeling I'm going to have more downtime. But how easy is it for any asshole to just turn on a camera and talk and spew? I do, but I kind of feel like I've done it for long enough that I kind of got something with it, you know? Except for the points where I keep forgetting. But again, I'm in pain, all right? I'm a real man, so you can't tell how intense it is. It's so bad. It's okay. It's manageable. But we'll see if it gets worse, because then I have to go to the doctor. I don't want to make an appointment. But I kind of think I've already decided that I have to make an appointment. And I hate it. It's like the thing I hate the most. Appointments and the phone ringing. I keep my phone in a Faraday box. I don't care who knows it. You know why? Because I don't want you to call me. Are you blonde-haired, blue-eyed, love of my life? Then get lost. I have no use for you. Are you my little Olivia Hussey? Are you my Juliet? No, I don't want Juliet. I want to keep her. I want Juliet, because she lives at the end. Romy Zero, that's me, and Juliet, that's Nelvana. It's the 70s. Rock and roll. You don't know what that means. I think I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta move. What could I say? Something nice. Something nice about Valentine's Day. And about women, and about love. Affirmative of love. I know I got it in me because I have to keep remembering that stuff. It's easy to remember the bad, for me. It's easy to remember all the horrible things about relationships. And I guess it's also easy to remember the sexual things if they're, but those are all bad. I'm trying to remember the good things. And I guess Eric Draven was right from The Crow, remember him? And he said it's the little things. Those are the things I miss. And I said this before. I get things I miss. I was an artist guy, so I spent a lot of time at the drawing board. So it was always really nice when I was in love with somebody and they wanted my attention and they couldn't get it, or they knew they couldn't get it. So they would just come and slip behind me while I worked. And they just wanted to be with me, touching me, hugging me, sitting behind me while I worked, like slipping like a cat, but it's a person, it's your girlfriend or your wife, and they slip behind I don't know what you got, and they would slip behind me on a chair. And that's one of my things about love, because they just wanted to be with me and near me, and I had to work. But it was so lucky that we could be together at all. I really, those are the things that I miss from being impossible to be in a relationship with, I guess, or monogamous with, or whatever. I don't have trouble with it. The problem that's happened, it's been happening since the 90s and to a lesser degree in the 80s, but they just gotta keep trying out. The women have been enculturated. Sorry, I cut off there. The women have been enculturated. They gotta keep trying out different dudes. And it costs them, because you can't really do that. Because we have, like, it's all the stuff people talk about with all the epidemic of women hitting the wall, homeless, hypergamous car whores that don't own their cars, and they're like, you can't repossess it. I suck cocks in here. It's the only way I make a living. It's where I get my ramen. I'm streaming. No, welfare gives me my phone. No, you don't understand. My phone is for free. It's sad. All right? People are supposed to be together. Women are supposed to be taken care of. And I know it doesn't sound good to a lot of people, but it really does make so much sense, the order of things. Why women and men are happy together, and like the rib, like women and men, like the women as a rib from the man, and together one flesh. It's a big deal. Getting married is the biggest deal. And part of being disheartened to weddings, seeing them so much, is because I know those people weren't feeling it at their weddings, or even at the reception when they announced them as the bride and groom together. Like, it's not the same thing as when it's in your mind. Like, it's one of the biggest heartaches of my life. I chose a bad wife, but I really thought it was for life. So I went through hell trying to make it work after she just didn't even care about the kids, nothing. Because I was like, no, this is one flesh together in sickness and health. And it is weird, because people do get attached like that, especially if you bring people here, because you're supposed to stay together, and it doesn't work. And there are forgivenesses in the Bible. Like, you can get divorced on grounds of adultery, or if, like, I think it's written if your husband abandons you, or whatever, if your wife goes away. And there's like, those are two reasons: neglect, spousal neglect, or adultery. All right. So those are the grounds that says it's okay. So I'm good to get divorced biblically. So, and it's not good, because she's doing terrible now. It's not good. I hate hearing that. And, I guess that she was so terrible to me. I don't know if I want her doing better than me, but it's just a sick thing, I guess. But she was just so bad to me, children involved. And it's not acceptable. It's not excusable. It's not okay. It's like, I have to be fair. I've been beyond fair. The world has been beyond fair with this person. And that's where I put my seed. And they're fantastic. So say what you will. A lot of wombs are trash. But you gotta get here somehow. So, happy Valentine's Day. No, I can't leave it with that. Other nice things about relationships, small little Eric Draven details. It's little things that matter. Remember that when Eric Draven's talking to Ernie Hudson about relationship stuff? The little things I liked. Every relationship, even if none of them could cook, having somebody, like, making meals for somebody, with somebody, I always like that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything. All the stuff of a marriage, I don't want to get into that, because it'll make me hurt. The anger, failing. We're supposed to be building a lifetime, you dumb bitch. Now I don't care what happens to you. You're so vile. And it's not fair, because I'm supposed to be like, it makes sense. There's a math to this in the Bible, and it explains to you why you have to forgive. And I know why, and I can tell you. I guess I'll get around to it, but it's a hard one for me yet. Because... and I'm being forced to deal with it, hence my hernias and anger, or whatever they're going to say is wrong with me. It's hernia. A thing popped out. I went back. I told you this before. I was like, did I tell him that? I've been going, it's like, going on this is like, going for the third hour. I don't know how long I've been doing this. Something nice about Valentine's Day, and then I'm leaving. Training sexual tricks on a woman, where like when you're both young and you're having fornications, which is wrong. I shouldn't think about this. It's not good memories. Where it's like, like when you don't know, both of you don't know what you're doing. It's supposed to be for marriage, so you stay together. That's nice. I remember it and not staying together. But you're supposed to do that stuff. It's supposed to be part of your explorations of your carnality of your marriage. So I wasn't thinking about I was thinking about building a lifetime with somebody, but it was in my dumb way. So I didn't know how to pick women that were really serious about that. I was just trying to get revenge on pretty girls, I guess. You have to be attracted to whoever you're with. I don't think I got prettier as I got older. I know what I looked like when I was younger. Whatever. I think I'm aging into my looks. I'm getting tremendous eyebrows. I always wanted them, and I'm getting them. I always make jokes about it. Like, if you might see my progeny running around with my eyebrows. It's like a joke I've had for years, but there's something to this. I always knew when I wanted an old man, I wanted old wizened eyebrows. Like, some people lose eyebrows when they get old, and I was like, no, I know I will be one that gets like eyebrows like whiskers. And guess what? I already have them, and I used to pluck them because they were so thick. Now I let them go. Can you see them? They're covered, but they're weird. It looks like fishing lines, like the kind you go deep sea fishing with. I'm like, that's my fucking eyebrows. And when I pull them out, it looks weird. It's like, what is that? Like a grain of rice? I'm exaggerating to clarify, but it's weird. It's like, wow, how's there such a huge follicle in there? I don't know. So that's too much about me. It's a Valentine's episode. It's about love. So what can I offer you? Only my own self-love by revealing way too much to Google about me so they can use my memories to make replicant memories. But that's okay, because I get them back when I shoot my goo into the hatcheries where they make replicants. Future Scott does that. I'm not Future Scott. I'm 2020 Scott. And 2020 Scott's a shit, and he's alienated himself, and it's cold, maybe the coldest night of the winter. And it's Valentine's Day. And it's a Friday. And I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, because this is my lame Valentine's Day. And now, I'm going to end this episode mercifully, and immediately... Oh, that one was almost a puke. Maybe it is a hiatal hernia. I'm just kidding. I'm going to upload it immediately because it's still Valentine's Day. This is your Valentine's Day episode. I just made it. It's almost like a live stream. Hey, he did a private live stream. He just fresh uploaded it. I just made this. I pasted it together. And now, on Valentine's for you, hot and fresh, I came through. I came through with something on Valentine's Day. Talking about my stuff, about shit you didn't care anything about. You wanted to hear me talk about Harley Quinn and the Bad Girlfriends. Or something. I don't know. I am tuning out. I'm putting my head in the dirt for a little bit at least about internet. So I'm giving this to you for Valentine's Day, and I've decided that I might make episodes, but I'm not going to look at anything. I'm not going to watch any content. I know what's going on in the world around me. I know. But I'm not going to go look at people complaining about pop culture because that's what YouTube gives me. And I'm tired of all YouTube is just complaining. I'm not saying there isn't things to complain or be alarmed about. All of it is. It's all valid. But I know everything already. And now I've got a much more interesting book. So I've been inundated. Now I'm being inspired. And I said I was taking time apart. And I didn't take it. But I told you I was taking time apart. And now I really am. Because maybe my father said I needed it. And in a weird way, our communications and our infirmities, sometimes our infirmities are communications with our Father. I do believe there may be something to this. And this is, I think, a light and gentle stop, Scott. And I need to stop talking because I've done so many episodes, and the more I read the Bible, I feel like I've lowered myself with the way I've talked to you. And I could have done all the stuff I wanted and made you like me and be engaging so you keep coming back to my open mics without so much of the filth. But I don't know. I'm gonna say I think it's okay because we're growing together. Because if you've been watching these for the last couple years now, or even the last year or two, then we've grown leaps and bounds together, haven't we? Because it's revelation of the method time, which again is in the book, and we're being told, it said all shall be revealed. It's all being revealed. So if there's anything going on with the moon, or however Earth's shaped like a plate or whatever, we will find out. Whatever the truth is, it will be revealed. Because right now we're finding about islands of the wealthy elite, but we're just not finding out who goes to those islands, but we already know who it is. Like Steven Pinker and all those guys in Epstein Island. And we know about all this. That's revelation of times. All the blood stuff, that's coming out. I mean, it is. They're saying, oh, we have trafficking, but it's not just that. It's all weird sacrifice stuff. Rich people are saying, yeah, old people blood needs young people blood. So we're going to give old people young people's blood. That's a vampire. Old people living off the blood of the young. That's a literal vampire. I don't know if there's vampire stuff in the Bible, but there are places. Hey, we didn't know what we were doing so bad. He gave a flood to the whole planet, and he only let a couple people hang on. And that's when there was lots of giants and all that stuff. And hey, giants really are a thing, because the Smithsonian has never hid that there's thousands of bones of like 7 foot tall and Native Americans, and even the women were 7 foot tall, and the men were usually taller than them. And the Smithsonian says, yeah, we had thousands of bones of those, and we don't know what happened to them, because lots of people had them, and the Smithsonian took all the bones of giants. I'm just saying what the world we live in is. I know it sounds hard to believe, right? No, this is nothing new. Before there was internet, they would talk about the bones of giants at the Smithsonian. It's not a secret. So all the stuff they say about giants now, who cares if they're just leading you astray with stories about giants and Bigfoots and stuff? There's giants in the Bible. They're in here. And there's historical records of giants, like those people. What are you going to do? Giants are in the Bible, and giants are in the Smithsonian, and everything that's like about that book is like being like they want our history to erase it, and they don't want you to think about God the Father, because your pop culture is saying destroy men and father figures, and the Son is being replaced with women and female figures. Happy Valentine's Day. What can I leave you with? Some nice, like, small things about life. Back rubs. I'll leave you with back rubs. I would love to have a back rub on Valentine's Day when I'm in such pain, but I don't think I could lay in my stomach to get one. I'd have to just sit here. So here's a Valentine's Day back rub. One of the best long-term relationships I had, and I think part of the reason we stayed together is we really did massage each other, and our fingers fit into each other's bodies good. I don't know how to describe that. You know what it's like to massage other people, like lovers. I don't go massaging people. I don't touch anybody unless I'm fucking them, okay? I don't massage people if I haven't had my penis inside of them. All right, that's it. So let me finish. So we used to massage each other, and it didn't lead to sexuality. It didn't lead to sex. It did sometimes, a lot of times it did. And we were fornicators. But, you know, it was a serious relationship, and it was long-term. We thought it would lead to something. And obviously it didn't. But we used to rub each other all the time. And I think it was the biggest thing that it helped keep us together. I mean, yeah, we liked each other, but I think it was very important. Because every day we were getting de-stressed and getting a rub down. And it was a good one. And since we knew we were going to get one, we gave one. So it was a mutual. All I'm talking about is mutual good massages for a relationship. Yes. You should be touching each other all the time. And being a man, I really did like the massages, but since I'm a man, of course I always wanted to molest her and everything, because it's a naked woman's body. So I had to, this is a long-term relationship. So yeah, I outgrew that, just like my hand outgrew grabbing your ass all the time. When you really fall for somebody and you love them and everything, you're going to respect them. So yeah, in time it just became part of our lives, where I got desexualized to massages, and it was great to get them pretty much every day. And especially when you weren't feeling well, when you don't feel good and you're achy and somebody gives you a massage, that's really something nice to have. And the person's risking themselves getting ill because they love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't give up on love. Maybe you or I will never have anybody to love us, but it doesn't matter, because you have love to give. Just don't try to give love to anybody that doesn't want it. And don't spill your seed into socks or on the bus. Don't spill your seed on Lanta. Or is it Lantana? Doesn't matter. There you go. Massages, yes. Sanctioned carnality, get married first. You're probably fornicating anyway. Try and get married. If 5% of women are virgins, what am I supposed to tell you to do? Find somebody and make it work. Get an Orthodox study Bible. How cool would it be if you could fall in love with somebody and you could both pray to God together? I bet you could get, like, do people do that anymore that aren't weirdos? What do I mean by that? I met some people who pray all the time, like every 5 seconds in front of everybody, like praise Jesus all the time. And there's something about it that's so off-putting that I think it annoys him. I don't know. It feels like it's done out of a weird, misdirected fearfulness and not out of something that's just like where you're really feeling all that God pill energy. And I don't want to belittle it at all. You're supposed to feel good about it. It's what you've been missing your whole life. I guess that's your Valentine's Day episode. Bible. You will be happy. You will be happy with somebody. Maybe it's not too late. I don't know. But even if it is, I don't know. You want other people to have it. I'm not a person that's like, I don't get mad when other people are happy. I want to see it because I know that it's going to make the world be saved, because it seems like the big plans of all the evil, wealthy elite whose fortunes control the fates of nations, they just don't want men and women to be together and stay together for life, because all your movies and TV shows are saying don't. Why? That's not how people are supposed to grow up. I grew up with people that were old people that were still in love, and they never slept with anybody but each other. Even, and I know it was different if the guy went off to the service and whatever he did over there. But no, it was different. Like, people, like, they would tell you, like, it wasn't embarrassing. Now if somebody says they haven't been with a bunch of people, it's supposed to be embarrassing. No. Everybody's not supposed to be used up. I can't however many number of people you've slept with, and you're not with any of them, you can't undo it. I'm a dude, but it does bother me. I don't think it's cool to sleep around. I never really did, though. And, like, I would stop hanging out. I said I was going to leave. I would stop hanging out, like, if I was hanging out with somebody and they were cheating on their spouse, and this could be men or women because they both do that. I was like, I can't hang out with you anymore, Like, I can't come to your house because I know what you do. Not saying I won't be friends with you, and I know Jesus would go into anywhere, but I'm not like that. I felt weird going to somebody's house when I knew they were cheating, and I do all the family stuff and I know what's going on. Because I was cheated on in my marriage too, but I was like, that's it. Like, no, not acceptable, because you can't fix it after that. I know this. Like, I know maybe you can. Maybe some people can stay married after infidelity. I can't. All right, I was ready to do this once. It meant something to me. I'm like, wow, like, we're doing this before our Father. Like, it's a big deal. Like, I could feel it. Like, I don't know what goes through other people's things when they're getting married, but is there this moment when you know that God, your Father, is real and you're getting married before Him, even if you don't know what you're doing? And I've seen it. People get married and they don't really know what they're doing. People are supposed to grow old and favor each other. One flesh. God the Father and Jesus, who was there with them right from the beginning. I didn't know that before. Always there. Before He came, He was there. He would appear to people before He came. And He came. There's so much cool stuff in the Bible. It's better than any science fiction story. The entire genre of science fiction is invented to create the future that evil people wanted the future to be like. And the Bible is the story of how everything is. And it's so good. It's better than the best science fiction story. And you won't believe me because you don't have the right version of it. There's so many versions of it, and you need I'm telling you, like, if you start with this one, unless you don't have it already, it's great. Maybe you have better versions. I don't know. It's new to me, but it's just like, wow, all that stuff I learned the hard way or watched other people fail at, it's all reflected in this book. even how to get by in the hood. Old Chirac telling you how to get by in the hood. And all the stuff that Lot went through, and still being a good guy, and all the stuff his daughters did to him afterwards. Horrible. Or weird. It's gross. So, massages on Valentine's Day. I don't know. Love. It's apparently the most important thing, and it's between a man and a woman, and evil wants to ruin it forever, and if it does, then that's how evil can control the earth and everybody that will grow up in future generations. So they want. That's the plan. The plan to take over the planet is to keep men and women away from each other. And I want you to remember that on Valentine's Day. There's that a good bullshit way to get out of here? I'm not trying to be bullshit with you. I'm really trying to give you like a nice heartfelt thing that was good about Valentine's Day. The massage thing was nice. It wasn't sexual. I outgrew it. I grew up and became more of the man that I am today. I realized you can't just grope and chase a woman around because she's willing to be around you naked all the time. Although, you know, women do like sex. They like it a lot too. And it's really great to be really close to somebody and really, you really are bonding. You're world building, even if you're blindly doing it because you're young and dumb. You're connected, not just by nakedness and poverty and love. It's chemicals for bonding. It's made to last a lifetime. It's supposed to. And what was the silver lining in all this? That yeah, like even though it's fornicating, you get the idea of why like you're supposed to stay together when you fuck. Save it for marriage. Too late. I remember what I was gonna say. Sex gets really good. I don't know who these are for anymore. I'm sorry. Sex gets really good if you know somebody, like the best. All my best sex I've ever had. I'm gonna probably say that my best sex is marriage sex, because I really knew that person. And for her, I'm gonna say I probably didn't even compete, because she's had to try all the dicks after me. So if anybody would be an authority, go find her. Hell, go find out for yourself. I pray for her. I want her to get it together. I do. I hope they take. She needs them. I don't know who would pray for her. I do. I pray for my ex-wife. She ruined my life. Really took something from me. And gave me everything that matters. Until I get a wife to replace my children. Just kidding. I'm kidding. That's horrible. It's two different things. There's what you have with your progeny you raise, and you watch them, you're like, oh, I brought people here and they're grown-ups, and it's weird. And then there's a relationship you have with your wife, and that has all the carnality stuff. It's like very special. It's the most special because that's where it starts. It's the most special relationship in your life. That your Adam and Eve relationship, because that's where it started. All right? There's Adam, and then from Adam, from him is Eve. From him made is Eve. It really makes me feel like, oh man, like look what we let happen to our women. They were ours. Like the collective men, like on the planet. Look at what women have become. How bad do I feel for calling them whores and all the horrible stuff I said about women, even probably in this episode. But it's changing in me. Like, I can't do these things anymore because it's like my daddy didn't make no trash, and I'm tired of beating up on people's infirmities, even though they are horrible and sometimes hilarious. And, you know, I look at them like, oh, it's not nothing, like I want to laugh, but so many things just aren't funny anymore because it's always at the expense of somebody who's wasting their life. You're hurting themselves. Do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. That is such a deceptive statement, because a lot of when you say that statement, it's probably for somebody who is hurting themselves. That's why they have that statement. So what's a nice thing about relationships? It's non-sexual. I don't know. I dated a beautician once, and she liked fucking with my hair, and I guess it's a feminizing. And she did cut it, but not like her way, just like to trim it because I wasn't letting it be cut. But I let her cut it, you know. So that's not the sweet thing about the relationships. She liked combing through my hair and stuff. I let her do it. It's a woman thing. I didn't mind because it was like a head scratching. And that's kind of weird. I don't want to leave you with that. But yeah, I let a woman comb my hair, like, you know when girls comb each other's hair? I let a woman comb my hair because it was like head scratches for a man. And I watched TV, and she got off on it. I don't know. I told you about a girlfriend. She liked to be locked in the closet because it turned her on. And she wasn't really locked in. She could get out anytime she wanted. It was pretend. And then I thought that was weird. I was like, that's our secret thing. And no, it's not our thing. It's in a documentary. I saw it in a documentary. A documentary she couldn't possibly have seen. Some women want to be saved. I guess that's that's what I equated it to. And I feel bad about this because I shouldn't talk about this because these are real people. That's what's changing about me. So for Valentine's, I'll give you something very deeply personal, and I'll allow it to be up. I may take it down later because I talked about people that are real, changing. I don't give a fuck about Kobe, but I'm not going to talk about somebody that they loved that died because it meant something to people whose brains work like that. Mine doesn't work like that. I couldn't possibly care about an athlete ever unless they were in my family or they're married to I was in my in-laws or something. I think love is great. I loved and lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't do it properly. Maybe I aged out of it. I don't want what's available to me. It's all used up. I don't like anybody. Maybe I just don't let myself like anybody. That's enough about me. What about you? I'm just saying these things about myself because I'm just anybody and I'm not special. So all the feelings I have are the same complexes of emotions as other people have. So I feel like I can say this stuff, and although it's like I shouldn't say it about me, I guess I can because it's special because it's my life to me, but it's not special because it's common and ordinary. And maybe when I say these things, it's relatable to you because you have your version of the same things because, you know, people are different, but, you know, with our feelings, we have the same things. Men and women are made for each other. We're supposed to pair up. A lot of people aren't happy about this. It's my Valentine's Day episode. I'm going to talk about love and globalization. Globalization trying to stamp out love. Because 1984 and Brave New World are about men and women are not supposed to be together. Even if they have to put them in, enslavement camps to beat up Winston and Julia. And all they have to do to get let go is to say they don't like each other anymore. Because George Orwell's 1984 is about in the future how men and women get sent to concentration camps until they don't love each other anymore. Internment camps. Re-education camps, that's the one. I went through every other kind of camp, but the right one. What was it again? Entertainment camps. To learn how to forget loving and keep watching. Hey, I always tell you I'm going away, and I keep being there. I might actually take a break from making content. I'll come back with something. I can't even work on my other thing. I remember I had other projects I was working on. I would show you little clips of them. I'm not doing any of that. And it's cold. So how great is that? I hurt myself, and it's super, super cold, which makes your muscles tighten up. That's not helping. So I will leave you with this. No kiss is just a kiss. They matter. Don't go kissing just anybody. Try and find your best gal and keep her. And don't date women with kids. And don't date men with kids. If you want to date people with kids, wait till you get old. And you're like, okay, I'm older now. And you don't mind dating somebody who has kids that have been raised already for the most part. So that you don't have to come in there and be insta-parent. have chemicals for bonding with those kids. It's not going to work, especially if you've never been a parent. You can't just come in and never been a parent and do that so great. They're going to look at you weird because they're going to say, this person's not a parent. And they are. So they're going to look at you like you're an inferior. That's no way to be in a relationship with not your kids. You don't get respect. Whether you're the woman or the man in that, it's not going to work. That's why I say don't date people with kids until you're older and you're dating somebody else who has kids that are older because they've raised them already and the kids have been raised and they're grounded, and that's when relationships will work. All right? Or if you're Brady bunching, where it's two people with kids and you come together and then you have to not have the internet because they're going to go to Pornhub and they're going to start repopulating because we're not really related. And you're like, you cannot sleep with your stepsister because you're dating. It's just trying to break her. It's just trying to break the family and ruin the structure of it. So even divorced people can't stay together because they can't keep their step-siblings off of each other because Pornhub and Billie Eilish drooling art supplies or something. And Satan. But it makes all sense. I have to talk about things differently. Not because I fear this, because like things didn't make sense and that stuff makes sense. I don't know if I have to change my ways. I do, I guess, in case of my anger stuff. But my ways have been changed. Because the context, there's a whole complete context for life in this book. Get rid of everything else. If you've had a bunch of the self-help stuff, this should make sense to you now. If you've had a bunch of that already, this will make sense to you now. Just get it. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm not down on love. I'm Scott Franklin Ree. And apparently future Scott is champion of love. So it's going to get better. Love will get better. It has to. We need it to save the planet. Did you really think about this? We need love to save our lives and our souls so that men and women can be together. I'm saying that, not the Bible. I'm not saying the Bible doesn't say that. It probably does. But I'm saying that. We need love to save the world from the wealthy elite. We need the love of a man and a woman getting together like the Fifth Element. But Corbin Dallas and Lilu have to stay together for life. I need Fifth Element grandkids. I need Sixth Element, Seventh Element, Ninth Element. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming. Olivia, I'm coming. Look at Olivia. Get your husband out of there. How's he feeling? I'm coming. Oh, Olivia, I'm coming for you. Put on that Mary thing for me. Oh, that's blasphemy. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I gotta get out of here. Happy Valentine's Day. I have to tell you I'm in support of love and in honor of love. I told you almost 3 hours of horrible stories about how love didn't work out for me. And I still champion it. I promise you. I am in love with the idea of love. It's the thing we need. I've fucked it up so bad I can't do it right. And now I am not behaving at all in the way that I'd like to be, like my role model, my superhero. I did not behave at all like Jesus. I went everywhere I go. I've been, since before Thanksgiving, everywhere I go, I have been going like Jesus, going into his Father's house and finding out that people are merchants inside of it and gambling and stuff like that. That's how I feel about love. I'm sorry, that's not how I feel. Well, it is how I feel about love. I want it back. I want all my fathers, all of it. Everybody, all the souls. I'm hurting myself. I want them all back. I want all the coins. I'm taking all the coins back. This is my Goonie weekend. I'm taking them all back. I just want people to be happy. Even if I don't get it. Why do I like John the Apostle so much? Identify. I didn't get what I wanted, but I had a taste of it and I knew it was right. And I'm sad about it. And I'm not gonna cry. It hurts so bad. I can't get it out. Happy Valentine's Day. Even in my pain, in my anger, and all the horrible things you've heard me say about women and my ex-lovers in this episode, in old episodes that I'm so glad that I mercifully deleted, and that I regret. I will not give up, not on love for me, I've given up on that, but I will not give up on love for you and other people because we need it. All right, I got old, I got to do a lot of things. It's good. All right, it's not what I wanted, but I got things I never knew I wanted, and I don't want to let them go. I love them for a lifetime. It's enough for me for a lifetime. But people are supposed to be together. Men and women are supposed to be together, and that's all it says in this book. And it doesn't say that men are supposed to beat their wives and just do whatever they say. That's not what submissiveness of the Bible means. Men and women are supposed to melt into one another. It's a true proven fact that couples that stay together in a lifelong start to favor each other in their physical features, and they change. They favor into one another. And it's one of those very unpopular things that they don't want to encourage, because then people go, oh, look at them. Look at the compilations. They get older and they look like each other. That's so weird. And then people make incest jokes, whatever. No. It's what it's supposed to be. A man and a woman from two different families, and then they get together and they build a lifetime together. Together, one flesh. I'm sorry, guys. My heart's being melted. I wanted it. It's working. And now I have to deal with anger. And it's been given to me. I don't know. I hurt myself, okay? I don't want to equate that with God and Jesus and the Bible. But if it's so, I could believe that. But I did hurt myself, and I can't get angry. And it's really helping me out, because I didn't realize how much I'm mostly angry. And other things I'm not going to get into, but I had a dinner with somebody. Not for Valentine's Day, obviously. I told you, this is my Valentine's Day. So I had dinner with somebody before Valentine's Day. And I had the pain already. I have this pain. So they let me have it. Like, they told me all my bullshit about me, and like, yeah, now, like, this is why all your, because I talk to people too. I said my piece, I mean what I said, but it's not the way that I'd want to be talked to by my Father. Would I want God to talk to me the way that I talk to people? Like that I cared about, where I was coming with wisdom to them, for lack of a better word, because I was right and I know what I'm talking about. I handled it all wrong. And I did it. It had like a ripple effect throughout. Like, it went through family and friends alike. It made the holidays weird. And here I am. They'll love me and I can get them back. But I've been put away. And it's all my fault. I wanted to say, no, I am right. And I am. But I didn't talk to people right. Because it's not the way I did it. It's not the way you do it. And I went to like several different people and I said, I shall be heard. And I went and I said, blah, blah, blah. And I said all my things that are important. And that's not the way you handle it. Who do you want? A father that's gentle and loving with you, or has a certain way? You're like, no, punish me, and be yelling and judgmental, and Old Testament, and the way that, when they misinterpret Old Testament stuff, and they look at, like, I was vengeful and wrathful and accusatory and judgmental, and it says judge not. And in this book it goes into great detail of why that, in this book it says why that doesn't work. And then I think about stuff I don't even know about yet, like guys who did commentaries of stuff on the Bible that are really good and insightful, that will like change my life even more. And it's like, when the internet's sucking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going back to books again, which is what I needed, and it's making me happier. And whenever I want to find out what's going on, I don't have to keep my head in the sand. I can just go right online to the internet or device or ask somebody else and decipher through the lies and nonsense and find out what's really going on. Oh, I was going to go into, I'm sorry, I want to keep this focus on love. I was going to go into a China thing and all that, like, shutting down, like, here's how we're going to do restrictions. We can't trade with them because of diseases and whatever, all that nonsense. And this will make food restrictions and limitations and all the stuff that travels the store. Is that going to happen? Happy Valentine's Day. So, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because all the stuff that's wicked, the counteraction for it is falling in love and staying with somebody and writing yourself and finding your way. The sweet, sweet salve for the plans of the wealthy elite that they write in their globalist books is men and women shouldn't fall in love and be together and have babies for a lifetime, because God and Jesus and the Bible. Yes, That's where we live. That's all that it is. And there's so much in that. Don't worry, you don't have to be a Bible scholar. I'm never going to be one. Forget about all this stuff where I listen to it, it's over my head. Like I listen to a podcast, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter. Maybe this will be all I ever get to in my lifetime. I don't know. There's so much depth to this, and I've lived it, so I can speak with it like as authority, as a authority to recommend reading this. I've lived the life, and boy, there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't have made sense to me when I was younger, but now that I'm older, boy, it makes a lot of sense. What a book of wisdom. And a lot of people who are younger than me always had that, so they didn't have those pitfalls, and they're hiding out someplace with their wives trying to prevent the world from ruining their union. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, how do they want to ruin the planet? They don't want men and women to be together. So everything that you're shocked and feared and alarmed about, what they want to do to us, the antidote is falling in love and fighting for that. And that's, and like in a weird way, like how do the good guys win? Love has to win between a man and a woman getting to become grandparents and never straying from one another. Lifelong monogamy, one penis, one vagina, you're done. That's what saves the world. Happy Valentine's Day. Men and women were made for each other. And some people are confused about that. And I insist that we all be allowed to have room to spread out and then die out. And the next generation will have an example of who to be and who to find for peace on earth for all mankind. A piece of ass, a piece of land. For woman and man alike. Alright? For woman and man alike to find each other. A piece of ass, a piece of land for peace on earth for all mankind. Amen. And it was so, and this was so. We're living in times where all is revealed. It's happening now. How can we know about all this stuff like never before? We have the internet. That's why they're trying to censor it. Let them know everything and then shut it down so we can keep programming them. But I have to end you on something good with love. Yeah, men and women were made for each other. And they don't want you to stay together anymore. So be contrarians and cool and pair up and stay together for lifelong. I don't know. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. I know it's kind of late. It's kind of late in the Valentine's Day, but it's not over yet. And hey, depending on what coast you're on, where it's not the coldest night of the year, probably, you're 3 hours behind. So we're good. Hey, what are you doing? Not much? Thanks for hanging out with me. Alright? What are my movie recommendations? Okay, I guess I'm not going yet. I tried to do a Valentine's Day episode, and I did all these things, and I recorded them. I videoed them. It's not film. So I recorded them on video, and I deleted them all. And nobody's going to see them. I'm not even saving them for my own archives. They're gone. Alright? Why did I bring that up? There's a good reason for this. I deleted a bunch of stuff that I made for Valentine's Day. Fuck, I can't remember. I gotta get out of here. I'm just gonna end the episode. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds for how I'm gonna podcast. But there's just a lot of stuff I don't want to wallow in anymore. And I blame the Bible. And I'm grateful for it. I totally can't remember what I was going to say before. I'm just going to leave. So thanks for hanging out with me on Valentine's Day Eve. Valentine's evening. Or the Saturday after Valentine's Day. Does it really matter when you celebrate love? Oh, I have something to leave you with. Should have done that. I have something to leave you with. This is good. Oh, before I forget. What am I getting? Alzheimer's with my hernia? Look, before I forget. We used to celebrate. We wanted to make holidays our own. So anytime there was some kind of thing, which usually led to like a sexual thing that we did with each other. Sometimes we'd have our Valentine's Day like the day before or the day after. And it wasn't like out of necessity or anything. We didn't have to. We were just like, everybody else is having that. We'll have our own little day. And then we would celebrate it and do stuff, you know, which again usually led to sex. You know, dinner, we'll do something, have a little thing, go out, come home, do a little thing. I don't want to do that shit anymore. I'm too old. I don't want to go to dinners. I don't go to restaurants. I'm old. But that was a cool thing about relationships. We would make the holidays our own. Or Again, I know people do this kind of stuff now, but we just like have I guess it's bad, maybe narcissistic. I don't know if it's the Bible's against it. For fornicators, probably, sure. But yeah, just like for no reason at all, doing nice little things for each other. I had, wow, why'd you do that? That's so like cool. And for me, it was very easy. It just had to be like a sex thing. But I'm talking about like being like I would give somebody a gift. You know, hey, I'm just thinking about her. I'm coming home with this, and there's no reason for it. It's not a special day. It's not a holiday. I'm not trying to get laid. It's just like, I love you. I want you to have this. You know, so I'll really leave you for real this time. I gave people Valentines. I had like junk Valentines, and I know that I gave them to people today on Valentine's Day. Early in the day, I saw people making the rounds, and I gave them Valentines that I made. They were dumb. They were just from props I used for my show, from Star Wars, The Last Jedi Valentines with tattoos, and I put the little stupid tattoo inside, and I folded the Valentine in half, and they're all dumb greetings, and I gave them to adults and everybody that, you know, I gave them a bunch of people, and some of the people weren't around. I'm like, hey, this is going to be their Valentine. A lot of people as adults, it's dumb to get Valentines, but it matters, because I've had Valentines and Christmases and holidays where I only get one card or no nothing, and as an adult, I don't get Valentines, but I gave them, and it was kind of cool, and it's kind of lame, because like, why this adult man give Valentines to other adults? It's okay, it's feeble-minded adults, but they're appreciated because they are some of the only. I probably gave people their only Valentine they got for Valentine's Day. And I remember one time I got a Valentine I wasn't expecting. I got one Valentine, and it really meant something to me. And I wasn't even in a relationship. I just got a Valentine, and it's dumb, but it mattered to me. I'm not going to shit on love, even though I did by shitting on my exes, which is really low. What kind of man do I want to be? The kind of man that brings out women that were like nice enough to let me be in them and on top of them and everything and all the stuff that I did to them. And then I'm going to say the disgusting stuff. I have to stop. I really do. It's not attractive. So I wanted to say something disgusting to ruin it all, and I stopped myself. I was going to say, and I plaster him with a lot of cum right in the kisser. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm kidding. I'm not going to leave you like that. Happy Valentine's Day. Just think about it. We live on a planet where what we need is for us to find out that men and women were made for each other, and we didn't develop properly, but we can still fix it. And we could probably fix the world pretty fast. We have the technology, and we have geoengineering and climate control and HAARP and DARPA technology and all the mind control stuff to program people to be, I don't know, normal again, whatever. That's a terrible idea. Men and women were made for each other, and the battle for the planet is to make sure that love wins so that men and women can stay together, so that they can be grandparents, so that their children develop properly. And it just keeps on, and that's what we do down here, and that's enough to make us happy? Yes. And all the other stuff that we already have along with it. It's all here already. Hey, guess what, man? It's all good. We've got everything. It was all good underneath it all. You know, all the plants and trees. We built sets on top of everything. We live on those. And guess what else? We can bring love back again, and we can go beyond our little hipster chicken coops and little tiny herb garden, and the cats eat the little wheatgrass things. We can move past that into like actually like growing food or having like an apple tree or something. And yeah, everybody would be happy with these things. They transcend race, creed, or color. It's the things of being men and women down here on this planet. Like I said before, my daddy didn't make no trash, and he didn't. We trash ourselves. We get in the hand-me-down world, and we grow up, and then we just do it to ourselves because our programming through movies and TV and pop culture, which is all it takes really, programs us in the West to tell everybody else how they're supposed to live, and we are miserable. And the divorce rates are soaring, and apparently it's a bad time for businesses that are involved in people's weddings because people aren't getting married, and that's what we need to save the planet. Men and women falling in love, being virgins, getting married, and then making babies and staying together for life, because the evil wealthy elite want to eat your children. and they want you to hate each other and hand over your children to them. They want to drink their blood so they can live forever until they figure out how to download people into the Matrix. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye. No. I can't end it. I guess I'm not good with love, so I don't know how to end it. I'll leave you with something really. This is nice. This is not really good. It is sort of sexual, but it's a warm and fuzzy. I was in a relationship and I was serious about her. I think she was serious about me. It didn't work out ultimately. I can't badmouth her, but I remember the first time we really bonded when we were having fornicating, and then right afterwards, for some reason, we just went to the supermarket, and she was just all lovey-dovey with me, and we bought stuff from the supermarket to go home and eat, I guess because there was nothing there to eat. And then it was really like, I don't want to say a really good fuck, and something happened, something happened, and we're like, whoa, like, we just telegonied. I put my cells on her sugar walls or whatever. It's mine now. And even when we left the supermarket, we were just in the afterglow of sex or something, and she just couldn't keep her hands off me. And it wasn't sexual. It was just like, it felt so good because we loved each other, I guess I could say that. And we were just, it's good sex, I suppose. I don't know if I should say that part of it. It's all part of the soup of it. And went to the supermarket, and she just couldn't keep her hands off me. And I loved that feeling. And other women noticed, and it made me attractive to other women when I went back to the supermarket again. That's not the cool part of it. The cool part of it was just somebody really being into me like that, and they didn't care that other people saw it. And it was like one of my favorite memories of public displays of affection. Happy Valentine's Day. Go get your dick sucked by your wife. Be good.